You're gonna hunt it down and kill it, aren't you?
Sure, we're gonna kill it, aren't we, Joe?
You bet, Judge. Consider it already dead.
The crocodile do this?
He says the great god of the river has been aroused and is punishing the Kuma for having contact with us.
No danger inside the nets, is there?
Tourism can only improve their standard of living.
Have you seen the great god?
Many have seen it.
Was it a crocodile?
It's a demon!
In that river, there is something enormous.
Someone's polluting these swamps, and it's our job to find out who.
You still think the crocodile should be saved?
If I get the chance, I won't hesitate to kill it. All the barrels and all the harmful things they contain have been removed.
I saw it! It's the biggest crocodile!
That crocodile destroyed my life. Every night since then. Wake up in the middle of the night screaming. So, if there really is a crocodile, help me hunt it down.
There just aren't any more like that one. It was the only one.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 271 of the Triple Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live and direct with my hetero life mate, JP, also known as the Mexican. And of course, we got Mr. No Fact Check Saucedo, also known as Tyler, in the house. And back in the house, representing the Land of the Creeps podcast, GregaMortis. And I be your host, the toxic offender, Moodz. Yeah. What's going on, homies?
Yo.
Bragg back in the house once again.
Thank you. Love being here, brother.
You did last year with us, right?
I was going to say, is this 2 years in a row?
Yeah, I think so. Last one I did was Poopy Avati.
Yeah, the Poopy Show.
Oh, Poopy.
Yeah, I think that was last year. yeah, that's usually when you do an Italian horror month with us, we usually invite you back, except for Don.
Well, thank you. Hey, maybe we're better than Poopy this week. We'll see.
I liked Poopy.
I did too. I didn't dislike Poopy. Poopy was cool.
I like that first movie a lot, the one House of Laughing Windows. That was a good one.
Yeah, but you kind of hated on
the last one.
Arcane. What the fuck was it called?
Arcane Sorcerer.
Yeah,
the modern one. So
and that one was cool.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty decent.
Everyone's like shocked. They're like, "What?"
It was different. It was different. I liked it. It was fun. Yeah. But yeah, on that note, Italian Horror Month, Week 1, Volume 10 is going to be Zoology 7 Crocodilians. That was a mouthful.
Yeah. So first of all, 10 years of Italian Horror Month, which was something that we created. It is cool to see other corners of the horror world do a little Italian Horror Month. Still not as big as I would like it to be. Mm-hmm. So some people still don't know, but it is something that we really enjoy doing. For me personally, what the hell was that?
Samples coming through.
That was Jeremy. Jeremy made an appearance tonight.
No, I changed the station on the hockey game. It'll start making noise like you're supposed to be muted.
Isn't that funny that was Tyler that just did that? That's totally a Jeremy thing.
I know. We already have made Tyler Jeremy so often, and he just reinforces it himself.
He's just recreating the mess that Jeremy was sometimes, man.
Everybody needs a Simon.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh my God, that's
but funny. 10 years for me personally is pretty awesome because when we started this thing, I had seen a couple Italian horror movies like Suspiria and maybe 3 other ones. I wasn't into Italian horror at all, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a whole month dedicated to Italian horror, because I know Moodz was a massive Italian horror fan. And a lot of the circle of friends we had at the time also were Italian horror fans. And I was like, I need to see more of this. So it was primarily a reason for me to, fucking get more acquainted with Italian horror. But now 10 years have passed, like I'm a huge Italian horror fan, and even to where, because we covered like every fucking Argento movie, minus like a couple things, Argento became my second favorite horror director of all time. So that a lot happened in 10 years. And our very first show of Italian Horror Month, I did pull it up because I was curious. November 9th, 2015, the Dario Argento Animal Trilogy was the first episode. Episode 61 in 2015.
Couldn't we, in theory, do another Argento show? Because we never covered Dark Glasses, did we?
No, so that was not out when we stopped doing Argento. We never did Two Evil Eyes. And obviously you have the two episodes from Door into Darkness or whatever. Yes, the one is the tram. We could do another volume of Argento. Yeah, I mean, you could do those 4 right there because 3 of them are basically an hour long. Yeah, and like I know he was working on that new movie, but it was supposed to shoot I think last year, and I don't think it did. So I'd be curious if that ever actually happens. But I can tell you, the Sandman will appear one day. The Sandman is never, dude. That is like funniest fucking story, man. We covered it so many times. We covered it. We literally covered it so hard. Like, oh man, we were doing yearly updates on the Sandman. It was that became a meme. Cool.
I remember that. It became a meme.
Remember how confused we were? Like we were just racking our brain. We're like, where the fuck did all this money go? Like, yeah, dude, just took the like money and ran. $200,000. Yeah, dude, it's not like it wasn't just like peanuts, man. It was a fucking lot of money that just like up and gone. Yeah, like, dude, it's still a mystery, man. It's crazy. Like, it's funny that we never really heard more about it after. Like, you think with $200,000 going missing, there's a lot of people involved. It would have been a bigger thing. Maybe I think if something like that happened now, it would be massive. But I think back then, you know, when that first launched, it was like 2013, which, you know, we were only like 2 years removed from Dracula 3D. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Argento was still kind of in the film world.
Yeah, he wasn't out of it yet. At least.
And so when that got announced, I think everybody just was like, oh, Argento's trying the crowdfunding thing. And then, you know, a couple years it went by and horror didn't really explode until like 2015, 16 again for like us, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like in terms of like I mean, how many podcasts came out between 2015 and now, you know what I mean? Oh. And it really exploded around that time and everything was, you know, the box office, like horror made a big return. Like if you remember when we first started this show, like horror was dead at the box office. Remember dead like in the water. I know there's an early episode where we actually, I think it might have been in the first season or whatever. So it would have been 2013. Yeah. And it was like the number one movie was like Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters or something, you know what I mean? But like 2012 was like just garbage. Like 13 had like 5 theatrical releases. Yeah, it was some crazy number. We're getting like fucking over 5 a month now. Like, you know, like it's kind of, it's just crazy. It's so much different. Yeah, and it's been like that for a while. Had made a huge, probably around like 15, 16 when A24 started popping up and shit. Yeah. That's when it started really taking off again, and we had a huge horror renaissance. And then we had a couple law years. In our opinion, and then now it seems to be ramping back up again. Last year hit a lull, man. It dipped real bad last year. It like not in terms of like quantity. Quantity was there. The problem was the quality wasn't there. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that too is like, you know, the previous like 4 or 5 years, 6 years were really good. Like 17, 18, 19. Some of those were really incredible years. Like hard to make top 10s. And then last year was like, I struggled so hard trying to make a top 10. It was crazy. Coming off so many good years, it was a letdown. But, you know, just, you know, even looking back on it, it was a weak year. But a lot of people said it's just resurged itself this year. A lot of quality this year. So, which is good. It's good to see.
And I mean, obviously, the box office has been exploding with success too from the horror genre. Like, I mean, there's movies like Terrifier that are, breaking records and shit. But it just seems like everything that comes out is doing well. They're all making money. So even whether they be bad or good, like I think even Imaginary made money, which is crazy because I heard that was shitty. It's like the only horrible. It was awful. Only theatrical film I actually passed on that I actually got this year. It's the only one I didn't watch, and I was like, I just had no interest, man. I was like, no, I'm not. It was one
of the worst things I've ever seen.
You're the reason why I didn't go see it though, because you said it was horrible, and I was like, man, if you're saying it's bad, imagine how bad
because I'm way easier on mainstream movies. Like I usually like a lot of the stuff I see. So yeah, if I say it's bad, it's probably pretty shitty.
Yeah. It was like that other one. What was the other one we talked about? Bye Bye Man? Was it that one or Slender Man? No, Slender Man.
Slender Man was fucking horrible.
See, I never watched that one either. I never watched
that. Was the only one. That was like one of the only films I almost walked out of. But
did anybody see Exorcism with Kurt Russell this year? Or not Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe?
No.
That was probably the worst one I think I saw.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. See, I after the Pope's Exorcist, I was like, maybe they can make decent Exorcist movies again.
This movie was this movie was made before that movie, and they took it off the shelf and they tried to like.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's interesting.
They tried. It was on the shelf. They're like, this sucks. Then they saw Pope's Exorcist did well, and they're like, hey, we have one of those.
That's crazy that he did two movies like that, though.
Yeah, it's like 4 years old.
Yeah. Two totally different.
Yeah, it was like the thing, like Imaginary and Night Swoon were the other ones I thought were like really bad in the theater. But at least they had they kind of had something going on, and like they gave you something to laugh at. But like nothing happens in this Exorcism movie. It's just like Kurt Russell in a dark room for an hour and a half.
I like the Pope's Exorcism too.
That movie's fine.
It was good. Yeah,
it actually legitimately surprised the shit out of me. Like I went and saw it in the theater, and I was like, I was expecting, because me. If a movie has exorcism in the title or possession or something like that, I'm just like, fuck off. Like it usually turns out to be pretty damn generic. I mean, don't get me wrong. There is some good ones, right? But
Last Exorcism's decent.
Yeah. And exactly. That's a really good one. But like, for the most part, those movies are pretty laughable, pretty passable too. And I was kind of going into this one thinking, well, it's like fucking Russell Crowe. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, since when's Russell Crowe doing horror films and stuff? Like how? But I was totally taken back by his like accent and shit that he did. And like, and I knew some of the prior story, right? With the actual guy that the story's based on. I actually knew about that story. So I knew kind of what I was getting into, like narrative wise. And I thought he did a fantastic job, and his performance blew me away. And it was something that really people didn't really talk about from last year too much, that I thought was kind of overlooked, was his actual performance. Because I thought he did a good fucking job. Like he not only had a great accent in that, but he actually spoke Italian in it too. It's crazy. Yeah. It's fucking wild, man. So, but
and that was Frank Nero in there as well, right?
Yeah, Frank Nero. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, which I think that kind of flew over a lot of people's heads though. Like, who the fuck is Frank? I'm like, that's fucking Django, bro. They're like, no, that is not Django, referring to Tarantino's Django. Right. That's not Django.
Have you been keeping up on 2024 movies, Greg?
Fairly decent. I mean, I've not seen a lot of theatrical, but I've seen quite a few.
Okay. Yeah, what have you seen this year that you were really digging?
Dude, right now, like, big fan of, God dang it. Now you done made me brain fart. What's the one? Late Night with the Devil. I'm a huge fan of Late Night with the Devil. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
God, I don't know, dude. Let me pull up my damn.
You know what I watched the other night, JP? Like after we watched or we did our Halloween show was because we did Creeping Death, which was the
Screenbox.
Yeah, it was a Screenbox exclusive, and then Carved. I watched Carved. That was, I think, a Hulu.
Yeah, I saw you watch that.
I thought it was fun as hell, dude. It's literally about a killer fucking pumpkin that because it got mutated because of the toxic waste that was spilled into the fields and shit. Like it's a very typical narrative, but it was fun, dude. It was fun.
Yeah, and so typical that there's movies we're covering tonight that use that narrative.
Right.
Pretty much.
When it caught me off guard, I actually enjoyed Oddity decent. Been a few.
I like Oddity. It's just like Oddity's kind of, I don't know. It's like, 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 I We talked about it last year. It's just kind of like it's very like like by the numbers, but it does it really well. Generic.
I thought it was going to be something like I was expecting it to go into a totally different place because like I just kept hearing nothing but great things about it, and I was like, okay, that was pretty simple. Like I don't know. I thought it was going to do something where you're just like, oh shit, now I got to really pay attention. Like, what the fuck is going on here? But it wasn't. It just wasn't that. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Did you see Terrifier, Greg?
No, I've only seen. Well, I'll say I haven't. I've seen like 35, 40 minutes of it, man. And my damn fucking computer I was watching on crashed on. I was like, fuck.
Damn.
I like what I've seen so far of it. Have you seen Mads?
No, that one's higher on my list to watch.
That one's actually pretty decent, man.
It's Shudder, the French movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've got that in my queue ready to go.
It's like a continuous loop shot, man. Like it's really clever how they did it. Substance, man, it's fucking banger. I love the Substance.
Oh yeah.
That's the one blind spot for me this year that we didn't get it in my cinema, so I haven't seen it yet. No. I'll end up seeing it before the year end, but I can't wait to see it because it seems to be the talk of this year besides Terrifier 3. So,
Demi Moore, man.
I think it's because like it came out of nowhere too. Like nobody knew we were getting this movie like some of the other ones, and then it crushes it at a festival early in the year.
I just like the fact that like we mentioned last week too about like all these kind of A-list actors that are kind of coming full circle to their roots and stuff like that. Like Demi Moore, of course, was in Parasite to start her career and things like that. And of course, she's the ass on I Spit on Your Grave.
I would like to just correct you that it is Demi.
Anyways. But we were talking about like A-list actors just appearing in films like Kevin Bacon and Maxxine, and of course Kurt Russell, fucking Russell Crowe. He's been appearing in some films and stuff like that. It's just I always had a big problem sometimes with like these actors I felt were miscast in some films. Like what's the movie, JP, that you really like that I always shit on? You know which one I'm talking about because I don't like the casting in that film. Fuck is it called? I can fucking see the cover for. Anyways, it'll come to me.
Oh, it's bugging me now.
But I used to always have a kind of a problem with that when you got these big actors.
I know what you did last summer.
No, well, yeah, fuck that movie too. I actually just saw I saw the basically kind of like a promo poster for the new one. And it's like, oh yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. is returning, and Jennifer Huge Tits or Love Hewitt's.
It's got what's his name, Freddie Prinze Jr. with like the salt and pepper gray hair on the poster.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. But but I just thought it was really cool to see like all these kind of big actors doing these smaller roles in these films. Nicolas Cage has been appearing in lots of horror films and stuff, like kind of going back to what he did, with Vampire's Kiss and stuff like that. And I just think it's kind of cool. Like these guys don't have to do these things. You know what I mean? Like especially somebody like Kevin Bacon, Demi Moore.
I think I heard that there's a new Tremors in the works.
Wow, an actual film that Kevin Bacon's going to appear in?
Maybe.
That would be cool.
Wow. What is that, like 6?
It would be number 8.
7?
Number 8? God.
Wow. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, the last one was the 7th. The last one was a tearjerker, man.
Wow.
Man, it made me fucking it made me fucking shed a tear down. I was like, damn. I'm like, this is a Tremors movie, bro.
Bastards.
That's crazy. Actually, one that I really recommend from this year, man, is Exuma. I reviewed it for day 30.
Oh,
man, don't let the running time skew you, dude. It's a Korean film and it runs 135 minutes, so 2 hours, 15 minutes. But I'm telling you right now, it does not feel like that. There's so much narrative that's interesting in this film. It holds, it keeps you in suspense the entire time because like the folklore and the mythology within the folklore is so cool. And then it just goes into this crazy place and like, it's pretty bananas, man. Like there's a lot going on in this movie, but it's pretty easy to follow. Like that's the cool thing about it.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's like a movie told in 2 acts, and I don't see why people are having issues following it.
No, it's actually I heard Dave Z said I couldn't follow this thing. I had to shut it off. I'm like, really? I'm like, I thought it was actually pretty straightforward. Like, I mean, if you're just watching and absorbing, the mythology and like where it's going and stuff, you're like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I like the whole fact that they play on like the whole, the Japanese occupation in Korea back in the day. Like that kind of plays into like this kind of demon devil and shit. Like it's really cool, man. It's really neat. I thought it was super captivating and it looks amazing. It's acted well. I thought the effects were cool in it. It's one of my favorites of the year, hands down.
Yeah.
Is that
it's very good. No, it's a Shudder movie, I think, right?
It's on Shudder. I bought the 4K though.
Okay.
Yeah, it is on Shudder though. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was searching. I was like, oh my god, the 4K was $18. It was cheaper than the fucking Blu-ray, I think. And I was like,
it's Well Go, right?
Yeah, it is Well Go. So that's the cool thing about Well Go is their prices are a little bit cheaper. So I was like, well, $18. I'm like, damn, dude, that's really cheap for a 4K. So it looks phenomenal. It's really good.
I'll definitely check it out. I just wrote it down.
Yeah, definitely one of the standouts of the year for myself. What did you think? Did you watch Maxxxine?
I did, yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm still, I love X. For me, it's like X Pearl, Maxxxine, but I dug it, man. I really dug it. I need to see it again, man. I've only seen it the one time in the theater. I need to rewatch that, man, for sure.
Yeah, I've tried to explain to people that, like, you know how, like, as fans, we go into movies with expectations, and sometimes we have an idea of where, especially like in a third part of a trilogy or something like that, we have an idea of what we kind of want and where we want it to go and things like that.
Yeah.
So I had this general idea going into the film, like where I thought it was going to go and like what I kind of wanted from Maxxxine, and I got none of it. No. But I ended up loving the movie, what they did. It was so weird because generally when the way my mentality is, if everything was different than I expected and was, kind of looking forward to, usually I don't like the movie, but this one, I thought it was so bizarre what Ty West did with this movie, to be honest. It was really cool.
The Kevin Bacon character was great. The accent threw me off a little bit, whatever, but I love the character because I love the humor of his character. And I mean, I'm like a 9.95 on Maxxxine. So when I say I don't, it's kind of a little bit less. I mean, it's still right there, right? It's a damn good movie. But yeah.
I really didn't have a problem with him at all. I thought the accent really kind of accentuated how greasy he looked.
He was perfect.
Like he just looked like a fucking greaseball from hell, dude. And when he first came on screen, I actually chuckled to myself. I'm like, God damn, man, he fucking looks greasy and doing a greasy job too, right? Like, I felt like the character fit perfectly. And I could not place what he was doing with the accent. It didn't matter at that point because I'm like, dude, you're just you're from Greaseball. You're just from Greaseball. So I thought it was really fun. It was like, I know JP had a problem with her, like the father character and stuff like that. He said it wasn't very believable, but I felt like it was completely believable, because this is also set, 8 years later, kind of thing. So
yeah, I love the twist of that, man. I really enjoyed the ending of it. And Immaculate, big fan of Immaculate as well. I like that one.
Really loved it, man. Immaculate was one of those weird watches for me this year because, like, I watched the First Omen and Immaculate in the theater, and it was less than it was about 5 days apart that I watched them, and I was like, did I just watch the same fucking movie twice? What the fuck? I mean, they're different. They have their own things going on, but I'm like, they're so similar, right? It was crazy. And I thought, honestly, man, the First Omen was one of those films that I was going into going, prequels can be such a waste of time if they don't do anything that they're supposed to do. This one did a lot more. It not only ties into the Omen, it ties into the franchise.
Yep. Which
is so incredible that they did that. I think it's very unique that they went out of their way. They actually knew what they're doing. Like, I hate when prequels and they just, it just tells us first part. It does nothing for it. You're just like, oh my God, whatever. And that's kind of the way I perceived this was going to be. And it was so different for me. I was like, wow, it's really good. But it was weird because I just watched, Immaculate also. So
yeah,
it's totally trippy, but Immaculate was really good. So
what did you think of that one, JP?
I didn't see that one yet. Okay. I actually am really behind. Wow. I've only watched 30 movies this year. Okay. And like a lot of the stuff that came out in the theater I missed, which is like normally not the case for me. Normally I watch everything that comes out in the theater. But it was like a weird year for me. Yeah. But so I'm playing catch up right now before the end of the year.
What did you?
I'm kind of in the same boat.
Did you watch Smile 2?
No.
No, I'm talking to Greg.
No, I actually haven't. I'll be honest, I was not a fan of the first one, so I wasn't very up on seeing this one, but everybody's saying it's better than the first one, so I definitely...
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't like the first one either, and I hated this one.
Okay. So there you go.
I didn't hate the first one, but I didn't think it was good.
I loved it. The first one was awesome, man.
See, this is a perfect example of a film that has no fucking business being 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It runs so overboard.
I remember thinking that the first movie too. Like this movie's way too long.
Yeah, this one's even worse. Like the narrative is like, because we like at least in the first one, it's like compelling too because you're still learning things. Where this one is just exploiting that narrative, right? And it doesn't really do much else with it. And it's like, I mean, I think the ending is really dark as fuck. It's just how it happens is like nobody can fucking tell me.
Yeah, the ending's kind of cool. I like that like last shot. I thought that was kind of cool to wrap it up, but I just felt like I kind of like wear thin on especially longer movies that like it feels like they stop the movie to just like build up a jump scare, and it just messes with like pacing for me.
Yeah,
like,
if you like jump scares. If you like
jump scares that are quick though, that are just like boom, like there's so many like they do the same jump scare over and over in Smile.
These ones feel cheap to me.
A lead to it.
They feel like Hollywood cheap jump scares, and these are just full of them.
Like a good jump scare to me is like Hereditary, like right in the middle, like right in the beginning where she just like sees her mom in the corner. You know what I mean? Like nobody thought that was coming. It's just a quick little like, whoa.
Yeah.
I love jump scares.
I know you do. I'm not like, I don't mind jump scares if they don't feel cheap. Right. I feel like you get cheated sometimes. Like these ones, it just feels like it's happening over, like in a 2 hour and 5 minute movie or 8 minute movie or whatever. There's way too many. There's fucking way too many of them, dude. It's just like, what is going on? Like, it just loses all value. Like, loses all.
Rise did that to me. I was so out of that movie, man. There was just so many of those, and I'm like, God dang, dude.
I know, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't overly care for. I did end up picking up because, like, you know, I'm a franchise horror.
Oh yeah.
But I do need to rewatch it. But yeah, I remember that was one of my big gripes with that one too. In the theater was like, holy fuck, dude, are they gonna keep doing this? Like, I'm gonna start keeping a tally.
Yeah, like. It's like every 13 seconds we gotta have a jump scare here. Like, oh, damn
it's just ridiculous, man. But another one from this year that I really liked was Stop Motion. Did you watch that one?
No, actually, I started but didn't finish. No, I have not seen that one. I've heard good things, but yeah, no.
I thought it was really good. Stop Motion's excellent in it. Really good stuff. This year has a lot of good, like a lot of films I like, man. The Coffee Table is just. It's so fucking emotional, dude. It's such a crazy movie. It's crazy. You got to check it out, man. It's nuts. Okay, did you watch In a Violent Nature?
I did.
Did you like it?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, I love the oh god, major spoiler, but I'll do it without a major spoiler. I love the one kill on top of the hill. Mm-hmm. How they kept going. I was like, all right, cool. So it had its moments, but then at some time, I don't know, man. I was just I wanted a little bit more out of it. I'm still kind of 7.5-ish on it. Thought it was okay, not great, but I appreciated what they went with it. Just didn't quite deliver fully for me.
Yeah, I personally loved it. I loved it.
That kill scene was insane, dude. That's fucking top one of 2024 in my opinion, man.
Yeah, dude, the gore in that movie is fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You watched Long Legs, right?
I did, yeah.
You liked it?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm a big Nick Cage fan anyway, so even though he's not technically, but the girl in it, the lead actress, whatever fucking name is, she was awesome. No, I really enjoyed that one too. So I would say like Long Legs, I had it like an 8.5, 9-ish, kind of point. And then with In Violent Nature, I was trying to look that up because I didn't watch it too long ago. I was at about an 8 on that one, so 7.5, something right in there.
Yeah, if you can find the Coffee Table, definitely give that one a look, man. That one is fucked. Cool. Like a lot of people are saying they're not completely sure if it's 100% horror, but it's horrific, man. It is fucking horrific. Like
that's one of the priorities on my watch list.
Oh my god, dude, it's so like, dude, like the best thing about this movie, don't even look into anything about. I'm not going to say anything about the movie. Like I won't even say one thing. I'm just saying, fucking watch it, man. It's crazy. Like I didn't know anything. Like Tom Horsball, shout out to Tom, had mentioned this movie. He's like, yeah, one of the year's best, and that was it. And if he's saying that, then I really trust his opinion on films. Like, we have very similar taste, and I knew nothing about it. It's like a Spanish film.
Okay, looks like a $4 rental. That's not too bad.
Yeah, and I watched it not knowing a fucking thing, and I was like, my jaw. There's a scene, and my jaw just dropped. I was like, what the fuck? And then it's crazy, dude. It's such an emotional roller coaster. It's pretty crazy. So I highly recommend that one from this year. But yeah, I think this year overall has been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun. Mm-hmm. Way better than last year's fucking shitty prep, man.
Much better than last year.
There's been some misses. Like I didn't really care for Trap too much. M. Night's done better films than Trap, but I had my issues with
purposely
that.
avoided that one because I saw the trailer and said, shit, I think I'd have done seen the movie. And it was one of those, I don't watch trailers anymore, but I was in the theater watching whatever I was watching. And for whatever reason, I brain farted and I just watched the screen. And I'm sitting here watching the Trapped trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You just fucking gave the whole movie away in like the first 2 seconds. Like, why would you do that? Like, you fucking idiots, man. Like, damn.
Yeah, the marketing is like so tough. Like, it's just, they always give away so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't turn away. Like, I don't watch trailers either, but if I'm in the cinema waiting for my movie and I'm not like on my phone waiting for the shit to start, I'll look at I'll watch a trailer, whatever. My memory's so fucking bad now. I can't. By the time I watch a movie, I'm like, I think I watched the trailer. I don't fucking know.
I was sitting in the theater when Halloween Kills, which everybody knows my thought, or Halloween Ends. Everybody knows my thoughts about that by now. But anyways, I'm in the theater and they were doing it for the first time. I was watching Men, the movie Men, which I loved. But anyways, they were showing, and as soon as the trailer would come on, man, I put my fingers in my ears. I'm sitting there humming, head down. My wife's sitting there, watch this. Oh, look, it's mine. I'm like, shut up. I don't know nothing about this movie. And
I did that with Halloween 18. Like, I avoided every single trailer because I was so hyped for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I literally, Carly would make fun of me because I just like run out of the theater when it came.
Yeah, I didn't avoid it. You know me, man. I'm not. I always fucking tear into people about being Halloween fanboys. I know, Greg, you're a big Halloween fan, right?
I am, but Halloween Ends sucks balls. Dude, that movie's so fucking
See, that's like my favorite one of the three.
Oh my God.
That's the last one. That's the last one, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I was like, I just couldn't take the ending seriously. Like, I was like laughing in the theater.
I think Halloween Kills might be the stupidest movie ever made. Like, I'm legitimately thinking to myself, like, for like a high budget, like mainstream movie, that has got to be one of the dumbest fucking written movies I've ever seen in my life. It's so like the evil guys tonight. Like, just there's so many fucking stupid scenes in that film that I scratch my head going, why did they think this was gonna work?
Dude, like, I don't know. Like, when the mentally challenged guy like comes to the hospital and they're like, he's not Michael Myers, then the guy's like, but what if he is Michael Myers?
Yeah, it's terrible writing, man. It's fucking bad, dude. I don't know. But it's funny because, I mean, if I was to have to pick my favorite out of that trilogy, it would be Ends.
Oh no.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'd have to watch the first one again.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't seen it since the first. All of these I saw in theaters, and that was it.
Right.
And like the first one, I remember not thinking it was good, but I don't remember like walking out like thinking that was atrocious.
Yeah, I think Kills because it was filmed in my hometown here, so I was like, okay, I went and saw film locations. I got a little spot for it because of that. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, cool. I've been there, seen that. Yeah, so that kind of
right.
Yeah, what the hell do you do with that franchise now?
Try again.
Start again.
Another timeline.
Exactly.
I think that is what they're doing. Right?
You let Rob Zombie make his third one.
They said, yeah, I would fucking kill for that. I really would.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be fucking funny if that actually happened? They just like abandoned like doing anything with this.
He would never do it.
No.
He was so like this. He still talks shit on that whole experience.
Mm-hmm. They can bring back.
I mean, can you blame him though for like
no?
Working with, I'm sure working with the Weinsteins was not very fun.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's got chill.
Yeah. Oh, so this is interesting, man. So I was on Bloody Disgusting last night, and they have an article on here called 5 Deep Cut Horror Movies to Seek Out in November 2024. And the first one on here was Crazy from 1974, the film that's in that the Britannia set that we passed on reviewing for October, JP.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the Freddie Francis film is on here. So I thought that was pretty cool, but yeah, actually, the 5 films that are on here, the White Tyler, have you seen Crazy? Like the Freddie Francis film?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you said you saw it or not. Yeah, no. That's one of the only Freddie Francis films I've like actually never seen before. And then the White Buffalo from J. Lee Thompson, the Charles Bronson film. Like
I haven't seen that either.
That's a good movie. Shallow Grave from '84. I think Vinegar Syndrome released that, right?
Yeah, they put that out. So I was gonna buy it. I remember like a while ago, like during one of their sales, I was like, "Is this movie good?" And so everyone was like, "Don't buy that."
I like that movie. I thought it was fun.
Pretty sure everyone told me not to buy it.
Oh, dude, if you can get on sale, why not, man? Then they got I Madman from '89. That's a really good movie.
That is a good movie.
I have that Scream Factor.
And then this was randomly like out of left field, The Rage from 2007. This movie's gory as shit.
Rage.
Yeah. It's your options for turkey-themed horror for the U.S. Thanksgiving are limited. But what about turkey vultures? This gross gem from the Wishmaster director draws from slashers, splatter pics, and mad scientist tales, zombie stories, and creature features. It's a real cornucopia of horrors. It is, man. It's nasty. It's a fun movie, man. It was cool to see that on there.
What is it?
The Rage? It's just like a... even looking at the picture, you can kind of figure what it is. I think it's like I can't remember if it's like a virus thing. Guy gets all mutated and shit. I can't remember exactly what the narrative is. I just remember it being really gooey and gory and shit. Pretty cool. Practical effects and shit.
I love it's got Andrew Divoff in it, man. It's so cool.
Yeah. Andrew Divoff's in the movie. Yeah. So
Reggie Bannister. Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's like plays a Victor Frankenstein type who is gone and created something no one asked for, a virus that makes people rage. And you get like mutated. Like if you look at the cover, like the dude, he's just like all fucking gross and mutated and shit like that. But yeah, it's pretty fun. So
nice. I assume Christopher Nelson did the effects in it. I see he's got a part in it.
Oh, probably, right? Yeah. Yeah, fuck, man. I feel like watching that now. It's been years. I have the DVD somewhere, man. Yeah, cool. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that they had Crazy on there, that Freddie Francis film. But I don't know what the hell we were thinking, JP. We totally should have done those for October for the Sin Bin show.
Well, we had to do what Tyler picked.
I think JP wants to keep blaming me because he wants to distract from the part where he said, "I don't want to do a set of 3 movies."
No, I never said that.
And then next month, decide to do a set of 3 movies.
Dude, I literally was the only one that suggested it.
No, didn't Moodz say let's do like one of the movies in the set?
Yeah. I said I would rather do all 3.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see you said that because I would have just done all 3.
Yeah, and then I was like, well, then why don't we just do all 3? And you're like, I don't know. I don't even remember what he responded to it, but
I thought somebody like I did not oppose the all 3 things. I would have been fine with that, but I thought somebody said like, oh, I don't want to do just one movie or something, and that's like how we like got on the single release.
Yeah, I don't know. Bloodlines was it's definitely not very
Didn't we
clickable.
all think it was? Yeah, like well, it definitely wasn't a horror movie, but didn't we like think it was a horror movie, or like they said it was a horror movie or something? Because we were specifically trying to pick horror movies.
I didn't really like just on the surface. I just didn't really think about like
it's almost like the
way that I look at it is like we don't only do horror, but I didn't factor in that it was October and we should have done horror.
I think we did try to do that though, because we were talking about maybe we seem to think they do a lot, or we notice they do a lot better like when it's like a horror main feature. Mm-hmm. I think so. We were trying to make a point to do that,
or at least something that someone's possibly heard of.
Yeah. That's like the thing about Vinegar Syndrome though, is like they were like the whole point of like being into Vinegar Syndrome is to like find these like gems that like nobody's seen or has an opinion on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, you got to think of it this way too, though. Like the audience that we have for that show is just the audience of 22 shots, and although we love Vinegar Syndrome, that doesn't necessarily mean that all of the listeners do.
I don't think it's 100% because there is people that comment on it every once in a while that I don't recognize them commenting from 22 shots. They might listen, just not comment. I don't know, but
I'm saying like we don't really have like a Vinegar Syndrome audience for that show yet.
No,
but like there might be a couple people or whatever, but. So the types of things that people that currently listen to us are interested in are like the movies they've heard of, whereas if we had a Vinegar Syndrome audience, people might be more inclined to hear us talk about the stuff they haven't heard of.
Yeah, I just listened to Tyler's reviews of the pretentious films that he picks every week.
Yeah.
What was pretentious about the last one?
Nothing. That one wasn't pretentious. It was that the Hong Kong like
I picked the pretentious one.
Yeah, Duke, you picked the pretentious one.
Go Fish.
Gonna pick.
Yeah, that one was that was bad. That's probably the worst movie that we've talked about on that podcast.
Well, I think you rated Bloodline worse. So
Yeah.
those
were like
honestly. Those were two of the worst watches in 10 months, and they were in the same fucking show.
I think they were easily the two worst like watches for sure.
Bloodline is just a pile of shit considering the cast. It has so much nonsense going on. Like, what the fuck is with the snuff shit, dude? Explain it to me.
I can't even like come up with like an explanation other than that movie was supposed to be like 3 hours long.
Yeah, because if there's a whole explanation for it, and like, I mean, maybe there isn't that other cut. I don't know, but like,
it just has like they do nothing with it to like have it mean anything or for you to understand.
It literally they show it like 4 or 5 times. This dude off and off these prostitutes, and then that's it.
Yeah, and you like don't even like, and the thing about the strangulations too.
Are we still talking about Bloodline?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that. We're just.
No, we're just talking about ridiculousness with. Well, it's because I was talking about Crazy, the Freddie Francis film. It's one that we could have even done last month, but
yeah. Well, next month we're doing 3 fucking giallos, so that should be fun.
You mean this month?
Well, yeah,
this month. Yeah, starting off with Zoology 7. In case you didn't read the title, which actually never really put the movies in, it's more the meme, or it's more the thumbnail. But of course, we're doing the Great Alligator from 1979 tonight, the Sergio Martino film, Killer Crocodile from 89, and Killer Crocodile 2 from 1990. Yeah, pretty fun. Pretty fun.
Yeah,
stuff.
it was the only way I could think of incorporating Italian Horror Month into a zoology. Could you think of any other 3 films that have the same animal that are Italian?
I don't know. I'd have to.
I don't research.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be shark films.
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely at least 3 of those.
Yeah, there's Monster Shark. There's fucking The Last Shark, which is actually one of my favorite Jaws ripoffs. I think that's one of the
blood.
There's lots of them actually. There's tons of shark films because that was a huge thing. Obviously Jaws, and then you got to rip that off, right? With actual shark films, not just killer crocodile films. But we definitely could have done sharks. Maybe another year we'll save that for a different year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll definitely have probably multiple volumes of shark zoologies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking movies. Because what's his face from Australia just commented the other day about, he's like, yeah, I wish you guys were doing like Aussie shark films. I was like, well, I mean, that's definitely an option for another shark volume. We'll end up doing probably a few of those. There's too many shark movies to avoid.
Yeah.
Right? But Australia has some good ones though, man. Like Deep Water and Rogue, and like there's some really good ones there. So
oh yeah,
or dude, Blackwater. Blackwater.
I love I would say out of like killer animal movies, like alligator type shit is like probably my favorite, and snakes, reptiles in general. But there's obviously there's sharks, but
I like spiders.
Sharks are such an obvious one to do that it's like, let's do some other animals first.
Yeah, it's like us putting off all the shark ones, like we put off Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street franchises.
Right.
It'll be the very last thing, like Zoology episode 89. We're finally doing sharks. Fuck. And then we'll just end. We'll do 11 volumes of shark shows. So
yeah, and yeah, I mean, the zoology shows are always fun to me. It was something fairly new. Like if we've only had it for like 2 years or whatever, we're already in like volume 7, which just goes to show how much we enjoy doing them. What are some? I mean, the next couple animals will probably be like rats, birds.
Well, we do have the birds one already ready to go. That was actually supposed to be a couple shows back. We ended up not doing it, but so birds.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be the one. We ended up doing piranhas instead because we wanted to do a franchise summer. But yeah, birds will probably be next then.
Yeah, I really want to rewatch Beaks because I've never seen it with a good transfer, and it's on that that
Yeah,
one
it is.
Cordova set. So I have like the old VHS of it. That's like,
yeah, I remember
only
you
ever
picking that VHS up a few years ago. At your
Yeah.
friend's shop or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that Rats is another big one.
Oh
There's
yeah, man.
There's a lot of rat movies.
I did like 2 full weeks years and years ago on my YouTube channel doing killer rat weeks. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I think I probably could actually stretch it into a third one too, but so there's enough there. But yeah, rats are probably one of my favorites because rats are they're interesting creatures. They're interesting. Spiders and rats. Yeah. There's so many spiders though. Like
there's a lot of spider movies. Spiders and rats are big. Sharks, obviously. Snakes. I mean, we haven't done any snakes yet. There's a lot of snake movies as well.
I just don't want to. Oh no! Did we ever do?
No.
I just don't want to do it so we can avoid doing saying that.
Yeah. Plus, I would probably go with more traditional like snake movies than that one. That one's kind of a
that one's a little bit
scientist
different.
movie,
right?
But snake movies obviously have the Anaconda films.
Which I think, which we could actually do that franchise as a zoology episode, just like we did like Piranha.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, but then again, we could also do Sharknado franchise as a shark zoology show. There's only 7 of those.
What, Sharknado? Yeah. If we did Sharknado, we'd probably want to get Maddie on.
Have you seen any of them?
The first one. I remember when it came out. Actually, Greg knows these guys. I was into Terror Troop really big, and I remember them. Boss Butcher was like tweeting, like live tweeting Sharknado, and everybody was like making fun of it, but like it was like a big. Well, it was like a big deal.
It was a big deal because the director was online, and you were able to kind of interact with the director as it's going live. I remember Justin Bean kind of set that up. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like everybody was texting with the director, Anthony. Was it Farazai? I can't remember how to say his last name. Anyways, Anthony, and so we're all just in there chiming in. So that made the movie even funner. So there.
Yeah. So I saw that first one, but I've never watched any of the other ones.
You know what we should do, actually? This would be a really fun idea to do. Because I personally I don't think the Sharknado films are like good movies. They're really fun. And you know what would be fun to do is do the franchise, but not review them, just do commentaries for all 7 movies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, probably be better.
That would be fucking fun to do, man.
That would be epic. I'd love to hear
that.
We haven't done a commentary.
What can you possibly say about like 7 Sharknado movies?
No, you just go with the flow, and like there's a bunch of, like, I think in the 4th one, like Lloyd Kaufman makes a fucking cameo. Maybe it's the 5th one. Who fucking remembers this shit? I don't know.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, I've seen all 7. Like, I actually own them all. Like, I think they're stupid fun. Like, when the first one came, it was like a really big deal, right? Like, people like Sharknado was like a huge thing. And I was like, oh my God. But I like stupid shark, like bad, shitty shark movies, right? Mm-hmm. So it was like right up my alley. But they're just a little bit better than your average shitty shark movie, though. You know what I mean? And yeah, it had Ian Zarian in it from 90210. So I was like, sign me up. Cool. That was really the selling point. It had nothing to do with sharks in a tornado. It was Ian Zarian from 90210. So it was very nostalgic for me, man. Come on, it's Steve. It was fucking Steve from 90210, man. Steve was badass, man. He always drove the Corvettes and shit. He was awesome. And he hasn't aged a day since 1994. Like, it's ridiculous. So, but anyways, yeah, but that would be a fun idea. Who'd be down with that? Doing 7 commentaries for Sharknado movies.
I'd rather do commentaries and review them. That sounds awesome.
I mean, it would have to be. Oh my God! I mean, like,
I would be down to do that. I mean, we haven't done a commentary in a long time.
I was dumb shit all the time. Last night, like we watched Paul Blart 2. And then watched Hangover 2 afterwards.
Dude, I hated the first one so much. Like, I can't stand Kevin. I've mentioned this on the show so many times. I can't stand Kevin James.
I actually kind of like the first one. It's awful, and it's like I don't know why I like this. It's like one of those type of ones, but man, like number 2 is a slog.
And it's not because he's just the replacement in that crew for Chris Farley. It's that he's not fucking funny.
He's not funny. He's really not.
He's literally the big fat white guy version of Kevin Hart.
We also
not
watched
fucking
that movie,
funny, man.
I think he's a little better than Kevin Hart for me.
Yeah, honestly, Kevin James is funnier than Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, I don't think has said anything that was ever funny. Like,
I think I liked Kevin James in the MMA movie that he did, and the Adam Sandler where they pretend to be gay.
I really like
those are like the 2 movies that I like Kevin, but I'm kind of with you on the most of his shit. I didn't
mind King of Queens, but I honestly watched that show for his wife because she was super hot, and of course Jerry Stiller was the best part of the show, right? So, but he was okay in that show. It's stupid TV, but yeah, what's her name? Leah Remini? Yeah, she was.
Yeah, Leah Remini. I literally watch that show like every day. It's on.
You know what blew my mind? I found this out like a few years ago because like she went all crazy and stuff like that, and then and I was like reading this thing about her, and I was like, oh, she's a fucking Scientologist, but she like left the Scientology church or whatever, and it was like a big thing and like whatever, fuck. But I didn't know like she was a Scientologist. I'm like, that's no wonder she went crazy. Fuck, I'm just offending everyone here tonight.
I think you're allowed to offend Scientology.
Yeah. Well, Scientology.
I think that's still like
the whole premise of Scientology is literally insane.
Yeah.
The fact that
I know. Have you ever watched the South Park episode on?
Of course I have.
They like literally make fun where they just like when
I just think
when they're telling the story, and it's just like this is what Scientologists actually believe.
I think that Ron L. Hubbard is the smartest man alive because this guy literally is on record stating, if you want to make $1 million, you invent a religion. And that's exactly what he did, and it's fucking huge. Like this guy's incredible. Like he literally telling people that he invented this religion. And so they create all this mythology and all this backstory to it and shit like that. And people fucking believe it. Did they forget that he made it up? Like it's mind blowing to me. That's why it's like, you have to be crazy. I don't know. Whatever. It's crazy shit to me, man. I find it so fascinating though. Like I've looked into Scientology before, like not because I want to be part of the church. It's just I wanted to learn about it, and I was like, I couldn't stop. I could just picture Tyler reading the book, like the manual on this thing. You couldn't. You wouldn't have enough tissue to wipe the tears away. You'd be laughing so hard. It's so fucking ridiculous. Like the shit I'm reading, going, people are actually literally buying into this, like literally buying into this, because you have to pay to be part of the church, and they're believing this.
Yeah, don't you have to pay like a lot of money for a lot of years before they even tell you? Like,
so basically how it works though, like in a nutshell, from what I remember is that I think the more you put into the church, the higher kind of like a ranking you get. That's why like Tom Cruise has such a high ranking, right? Because he's so rich, like he can put so much money into the church and stuff. So he's kind of like the leader, you know, he's like the highest ranking. He's like the highest ranking officer, right? He's like the general. Yeah. So like,
I watched a documentary on it a couple of years though. It's pretty good, but I don't have enough of it retained.
Yeah, it's been a few years since I've actually it was about 10 years ago I read into it, and I was so engaged in it because I couldn't fucking believe what I was reading. Like it involves aliens and like all this crazy shit. I'm like, it literally sounds like someone wrote a screenplay for a movie, but then just said, fuck this. It's not gonna, we're never gonna get a budget to make this movie. Let's just turn it into a fucking religion.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Let's turn this screenplay into a Bible
and make millions of dollars, man. Like those churches are rich, man. Rich as hell. I mean, if you literally have to pay to be in a part of something, of course you're gonna get some fetty up in there. It's nuts. It's nuts, man.
I do remember like one thing about the documentary is they brought up Travolta too. I don't know if he still is, but at least for one point he was like really big.
Mom, John's in the closet, Travolta's in the closet. Oh my god!
Well, that was Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, and isn't there a part where John Travolta's in the closet too?
Yeah, then John Travolta goes in there. Then R. Kelly also goes in there.
Oh my god!
Oh god!
That's so funny.
Dude, did you ever fucking watch Trapped in a Closet, the R. Kelly thing?
It gets so out of control.
It is one of my favorite fucking things in life. We used to watch it. Moodz, I'm telling you, bro, you will
what
never.
Is it?
It's his fucking art piece music video that's 22 fucking chapters long.
What? It's like a soap opera,
dude.
It's
it
crazy.
it's like.
Dude. It just keeps escalating. It's like a Neil Breen movie.
Yeah, it's like M. Night Shyamalan, dude. It's fucking twist after twist.
He starts out in like the closet, like cheating on his wife, and then like
it starts out where he's in a closet cheating on his wife, and then the girl he's cheating on's wife or husband comes home, and then like it gets crazier and crazier as it goes, and it's just. Dude, like, and it's the like, it's so stupid because he's like, and I'm holding my Beretta.
Oh my god.
It's
like funny. Doesn't even rhyme half the time, you know what I mean?
Dude, I've never heard of this.
It's like literally, yeah, it's like he like made a song into like 17 chapters or some shit, or 22. I don't know how many chapters, but it's like 20 something minutes long, and it's like a soap opera. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah, dude. And it like me and my friends used to sit there and like obviously I remember my friend Martin showed me it, and like he was like, dude, you gotta watch this Trapped in a Closet thing that R. Kelly did. And I was like, dude, I don't want to fucking watch it. I thought, I'm just thinking like it's some music or something. And then he starts playing it, and like at first I'm just like kind of rolling my eyes, but then it is so absurd. And like you could tell that he like made it thinking like this is fucking art right here, you know what I mean? Like the shit.
This is some Hitchcock shit.
Yeah, and it's just so fucking full of itself, but also like unintentionally funny as fuck. You have to watch it.
It's like 20 years old too, so it has that like shitty, early 2000s like cheesy production. So it's even funnier.
I can't believe I didn't know about this. Sounds like gold.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Dude, yeah, I know. Especially being like a big music guy.
It's crazy.
It's like a meme, dude. It's fucking I need you to watch it just because
you'll enjoy it. You'll laugh.
So how long is this thing?
It's like 20 some minutes, I would say, or more.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and every like chapter like ends on a fucking cliffhanger or like a reveal.
Like the way he sings, it's always the same too.
Yeah, like he.
Yeah, drop me a link for this, man. I'll definitely check this out because this just sounds ridiculous, man. And
you'll think it's so funny.
Watching it, knowing what you know about R. Kelly now, would be even funnier.
Yeah. Sure.
There's literally a part where he's like, "It was a fucking midget." Like, dude, it's fucking stupid.
Like every time he ends one of these verses, it's like an echo. So we'll be like, "It was a midget." Like Taylor's song.
Midget.
Oh, it's so fucking funny.
There was a robber.
He's the cop that pulled you over.
Yeah, dude, it's so ridiculous.
I'm trying to be dead serious with all this.
I'm reaching for my Beretta. And then he's coming for my Beretta. Like, I'm not even playing, dude.
It's like the whole song is him just singing about like what he's doing.
Yeah, he's like, and nobody's gonna leave. It's so dramatic too, and like,
oh my god,
and the acting, because they're like acting this, but they're like singing it, so it's almost like a fucking musical. It's so stupid. Oh my god, dude, you gotta see it.
Damn, that sounds like a riot. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Good stuff.
I'm just glad somebody else has seen it.
Yeah, I remember like not knowing it was that long, like you, and then this like I was like amazed that like it's just going and going and
yeah.
going.
I know. I was like, how fucking long is this thing?
So it came out, like, what year did it actually come out?
Whenever that Trapped in a Closet song came out.
I would guess
early 2000s,
like,
somewhere in there.
Yeah, early 2000s. I was probably like about to be in high school or just in high school, so early mid 2000s.
It is kind of in our generation, like.
Yeah. No, if it was early 2000s, like I was already done music school and stuff by that time, so I'm old. But
yeah.
Oh, I watched the 2024 movie that made me feel really old this week. So I watched that Netflix movie, Time Cut. It's really bad, but it's a time machine movie. It's kind of like a ripoff of Totally Killer, but Totally Killer is much better.
And fucking Happy Death Day and Freaky.
Yeah,
and
it's like it's more like Totally Killer, like if I had to compare it to one, but it's like nowhere near as fun. Like it's
dude, that's like a big fucking and fucking the Fear Street, like that type of movie is like a subgenre now, like the time Groundhog Day shit.
Yeah, they kind of like didn't even like try to make any of the movie make sense. But what was I say? Where was I go with this? This made me feel old though, because usually when they do these flashback movies, it's like the 80s or something.
Oh yeah, it's like 2005 or
2003. So like,
shut up! It goes back to 2003.
It's 2003, and like the girl like that like goes back.
That's
in time.
20 years ago.
Yeah, it's like a
oh
high
my
school.
God.
She's like a high schooler that wasn't born yet. Like when the event like over 20 years ago happened, it just made me feel so old that they're doing like a retro movie about like when I was like in junior high.
I know. What is that meme you see all the time where it's like, if the fucking Dazed and Confused is like a movie that came out in whatever in the 90s about the 70s, that would be the equivalent of a movie coming out that's about 2007.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, because Dazed and Confused came out in 93, and I think it's set in 78.
Yeah, it's late 70s.
Right, so it's only 15 years prior.
Yeah, dude. And
I would be as old as the high school seniors in that movie. Oh, God.
2003, did they shoot the scenes in 2003 like on DV cameras to make it
No, it's one of those movies that's like, it's one of those, like, I think these movies typically have a really big problem with this where they set it in a time, they don't do much to actually make it look like that time, but they make the characters like modern characters that just happen to be in that year. They do it in this movie too, and it's just like
and it's like the way that they cheaply make you think it's the time period is just like music.
Yeah, literally. That's what I noticed about this. Like, there's nothing about this one that looks 2003 except the soundtrack, and like they even have like it's not things that couldn't have happened in 2003, but it's like a very like modern like issue like comparatively, and all the characters just act like they're from 2003. They've just never seen a cell phone, or act like they're from present day.
Yeah, I love time machine movies. Like Back to the Future is like my favorite trilogy ever made.
Oh yeah,
so.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes they can be a little bit muddled though. You know, Back to the Future is one thing they do so well is they don't fuck up the timeline. The narrative's so well written. But yeah, Totally Killer. That movie was fucking. It needs a release, man. I want to see that one get a release.
Yeah, that movie was much better than this movie.
It was fun. It was legit funny too. Like there was some funny ass parts in it. So
yeah,
good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I drive better when I'm drunk. It's like my favorite line because that's some shit that people say.
Yeah. People always say that shit.
Yeah, I pay attention more, like some stupid shit like that.
Right.
Oh my God. My favorite part is like when they give the cop like the bag of blood. He's like, I have the killer's DNA. And he goes like, what am I gonna do with this? And like laughs and just throws it on the floor.
Right. But yeah, should we get into these reviews or what?
Yeah.
You guys want to do that?
Let's do it.
All right, so that is going to conclude the intro, and we'll be back with...
See you later, alligator.
You were waiting all fucking intro to say that, weren't you? You are such a nerd.
I literally just thought of it.
You fucking liar. You had that shit scripted. God. You probably have that written in your notes. See you later, alligator.
You know I don't take notes. Come on.
That's true. What the hell am I talking about? All right. So yeah, that's going to conclude the intro. We'll be back with Zoology 7 in a minute. Yeah.
After a while, Crocodile.
Oh my God. You're such a dork.
Yo, who this?
Yo, Moodz, it's your boy, the ill-mannered funky child, calling you to remind you that the featured reviews on this episode contain spoilers.
Aw, yeah, man, that's right, brother. Thanks for the heads up, playa. Now go back to being an unproductive asshole.
Fuck you. I tell your listeners to stop being so dumb, silly, sensitive.
Yeah.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, so getting into the featured reviews here on episode 271, Zoology Volume 7, Crocodilians. We're going to take it back to 1979 with a film directed by Sergio Martino. And it is called, well, it's called many, many different titles, but we'll go with The Great Alligator today.
Yeah, sometimes it's called Crocodile.
Sometimes it's called The Big River, there's so many different variations of this movie title. It's ridiculous.
Obviously we're calling it Crocodilians because we got 2 crocodile movies and an alligator, but this motherfucker looks like a crocodile too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Big Alligator River is one of the more common titles used.
Big Alligator River.
Yeah, I think actually, was it?
Are they saying the river's big?
I don't know. The Great Alligator, of course. The
Great Alligator is probably the best title out of the bunch that I've seen.
Yeah, I like the Great Alligator. It makes
sense.
the most sense to me too. With the movie.
There was a DVD release that actually had Big Alligator River on it. I think it was like a No Shame DVD release from back in the day or something like that. But I remember seeing that around. I never actually owned it, but yeah, Sergio Martino, of course, is probably more known for doing giallos, really.
Right? Yeah, I think we've done 2 volumes of Martino, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he's done a lot of. Like, I mean, he was obviously like a journeyman director. Like he directed, some action films, and he obviously did some creature features. He did some westerns also, but he's mostly known to the average fan or whatever as directing a lot of really great giallos. And I've always said that, like besides like Argento in the realm of like consistent giallos, he really didn't miss with like what he did 7. He did 7 giallos, I think.
I know I've seen 4 or 5 of them. I'm not sure.
Strange Vice of Miss Ward, The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, Your Vice's Locked Room, and Only I Have the Key.
All the Colors of the Dark, if you call that a giallo.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure. You got that in Torso.
Yeah.
Torso. He also did
Suspicious Death of a Minor.
Yeah, Suspicious Death of a Minor.
Yeah, I
Scorpion with 2 tails.
Most of those.
Scorpion with 2 tails. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good director in general. I like his films a lot.
But he's done a lot of shit. Then I really like The Violent Professionals. That was a good police chess film. Arizona Cold Hired Gun was pretty cool. What was the other ones that he's? Oh, A Man Called Blade. That's a good western. Good shit.
Yeah, I don't know any of those.
He did The Island of New York. The Island of Fishmen is pretty cool. There's a couple different cuts of that film, actually, I think. 2019, After the Fall of New York, that's post-apocalyptic, so he dipped into that, which was very popular in the early 80s, especially in Italy, where there was I think there's so many that they have a whole book on them. So Hands of Steel, which we actually reviewed on this podcast. It's a really fun one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, American Rickshaw, that's a cool one that he did later on, late 90s or late 80s and stuff like that. But yeah, no, Sergio Martino, man, he's one of my all-time favorite directors, man. He's done so much good stuff. But yeah, so how is his 1979 dip into the sharksploitation genre, or just strictly Jaws ripoffs? The Great Alligator. Synopsis: tourists on a tropical island anger an island god who turns himself into a giant alligator and stalks them. That's not really completely accurate, because it's not like that makes it sound like there's like this ancient god, and then he changes into an alligator just to get revenge on the tourists. That's not exactly true. The big ass alligator was already there, but the mythology in the film states that he was an ancient god to the Kruna, which is this tribe that's located on this tropical island. And basically the premise of the film is that they anger the tourists, basically come to the island, angers this ancient god, and he, exacts revenge on the people because they're stepping on his grounds. They pissed him off. But he first, and that was the one thing in the movie that really cracks me up, is that he starts by taking out his own people, because they're like responsible for like mingling with the whites. So he like starts attacking his own people. I'm like, why is he attacking his own people? And then they actually explain it away in the film. But I'm like, okay, so he's pissed off his people for accepting these white monsters onto the island and stuff like that, and then he gets revenge. But I mean, at least it's a little bit of a different narrative here. It's not like your typical like, full on fucking toxic sludge mutation type things.
Yeah, it's definitely like like you could tell that this was made pre-80s and the others were made like post-80s, just by the type of movie and the type of plot devices and narratives they're using in it. This feels way more 70s. But also you have the fact that before all this happened, there was like a missionary group who went out there and pissed off the Great Alligator as well.
Right.
Because you find that out from the fucking that dude's fucking wild looking. I forget his name, but the white guy who was a missionary there with like 12 other people, and he's the only one that was left.
Right.
He's kind of the one that tells you a little bit about the Great Alligator God thing.
Yeah. Right. I'm not sure who that. What do they call him in here? Like he's like not a sorcerer,
a shaman
or something like that. Yeah, they go to see him.
There's actually a pretty good like line where they say like he came.
The prophet. I think they call him Prophet Jameson. Is that?
They say like he came to teach them about his god, and he ended up being a follower of like their god or something.
Right.
That was a pretty cool line that they put in there that I noticed.
So this movie actually has some pretty familiar faces, and of course it's got Barbara Bach in it, the beautiful Barbara Bach, who once was a Bond girl who starred in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Jesus, this is like the 18th episode in a row that Bond got brought up.
It's crazy. But yeah, Barbara Bach, like she retired from acting, I think, quite early. Like she didn't do actually that much, but she is in a bunch of movies like Short Night of Glass Dolls from 1971, which is a really fun. I love that movie.
I think that's finally getting a good accessible release. I don't think it had one for a long time.
It's got 88 put it out on Blu-ray. I've had it for years.
Or for a region 1 one at least.
Yeah, that's region 2, bro.
Whatever. It's still get a fucking all region player. I'm not getting into this conversation.
We have an all region player. It's just like I don't feel like importing shit for $40.
Dude, that Italian line is fucking amazing. Anyways, Black Belly the Tarantula, she was in that movie also, which is another really good one. Street Law with Franco Nero.
Yes.
That's a great one. She's done some genre films. That's actually really interesting. And she did Jaguar Lives. That was like an early Arrow DVD release. Man, that movie's fucking cornball. It's awesome. I love it. And then she was also in The Unseen. Have you guys ever seen The Unseen before? Greg, have you seen Unseen?
That's a 1980 movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I watched that thing.
That one's pretty wild.
Yeah, that one's a cool movie too. So she's done some pretty interesting, like The Island of the Fishmen, which also goes by, what's the other title for that movie? Shit, dude. My fucking brain's Screamers. That's the title. That's what I know it as. See, I think Screamers is like the better cut of the movie. If you find it, so I know Scorpion released it under Screamers. Other companies release it under the Isle of Fishmen. It's like a totally different cut. So, but that was a Martino film that she was in also. So yeah, Barbara Bach, she's beautiful. We got Claudio Casanelli in the film, who of course is in so many Italian genre films, who died way too fucking young. I'm not sure how he died. Does anybody know? Because he died really young, like in his mid 40s or something like that.
I don't even know who he is, bro.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! And Claudio, he was in What Have You Done to Your Daughters?
Anybody who you just named.
What have they done to your daughters? He was in Suspicious Death of a Minor. He was also in
Hands of Steel.
He was also in Island of Fishmen, aka Screamers. The Scorpion with Two Tails, another Martino film. So he was in a bunch of Martino films. So that kind of makes sense. He was also in the New Gladiators, the Fulci film, which is really fun. Murder Rock, Fulci. He was in that one. Hands of Steel, of course. And then I think he passed away right after that. I'm pretty sure he passed away. I'm not sure how he died, but
said he died in a helicopter crash.
Dang.
Right. I fucking knew that. He died in a helicopter crash scouting a fucking an area for a movie. They were out scouting an area and it went down. Right.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, I can't remember what movie that he was doing, but yeah, he was in. It was a couple of cast members or people working on the film and shit. So Mel Ferrer's in the film, and it's actually got the little girl from House by the Cemetery. I'm actually wearing the beanie right now.
Yes.
Manu in the film. That little ginger kid in the film. That's the one from House by the Cemetery. She's very recognizable. Like you can't, like if you see her, you know who she is. So yeah, I mean, typical Italian film with a cast that has faces all over it that you recognize, and there's other people throughout this film too you recognize in multiple films. So, but yeah, thoughts on the Great Alligator, Greg? Had you seen this one before?
Yeah, I had. It had been a while, but yeah, definitely. And then I picked up the 4K from Severance.
Oh shit!
Right out. So, yeah,
right.
I still have the Blu-ray from
Code Red.
Code Red.
Ooh, that's what I rocked.
Yeah,
it actually looks really fucking. It was like one of
look good.
It was one of the later, like when Code Red really started putting heavy work into their transfers. It looks really good. So it's actually one of the reasons why I never grabbed the 4K. I was like, you know what? I'm sure the 4K obviously looks better, but I'm pretty happy with the Blu-ray. So, but what are your thoughts on the Great Alligator, Greg?
I mean, I am notorious just a fan of Gator movies anyway, so I'm kind of a little biased. So, I mean, the shittiest of Gator movies are great in my opinion, but no, I had a lot of fun with it. It's, we'll get into it when we get into Killer Crocodile, but I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was good. I thought the cheesy ass Gator, some of the effects were just so goofy that they were great. Some of the miniature set stuff they were doing was great. Like, it just has everything that you want to shit on and just say it's great. I mean, it's just that movie. The acting's horrible, but great. Like, it's and I'm sitting there watching this thing. Like, am I watching Jaws? Like, legit. Like, we got everything from basically the mayor from Jaws. This movie. It's just everything that you want to hate on this movie, you love it. That's my opinion, man. It's good stuff. I thought some of the kills were decent. The close-ups on the Gator I could have done a little bit better without, but hey, whatever. I'm all for it, man. Put me in the water with that Gator and I'll float around. I love the goofy plastic eyes and shit, man. It's awesome. I'm sitting here looking at this thing like, how big is he supposed to be? Like, legit. Like, I don't know what the Gator's supposed to be. But hey, I'm all for it. A little floating log. It almost felt like a floating turd going down the water. Got a floating log for a Gator, man. I'm like, yes.
That part always makes me laugh, dude. That's a funny part.
I think for me, what were you gonna say, Greg?
No, go
ahead. For me, like I think the design is pretty good. It's just like it doesn't have the way that it's shot. There's too many like shots where you can tell that it's like not articulate in its like movement, because it's just like a giant thing.
It's like that one scene where they pan out and you can totally, like, I don't get me wrong, I love miniature sets and stuff, but like this one just looks really awkward. It looks like a really awkward miniature set. You're like, oh my god, that looks so bad, but it's just it's definitely not Killer Crocodile.
I feel like
30 minutes to get to one. Like, I want to see a Gator. I'm watching a Gator movie, and it's like 30 minutes before I see one or whatever it is.
Yeah, the Great Alligator definitely takes its time.
This whole movie is like a build up.
It's more 70s, you know what I mean, in terms of like the holding off on the monster, where the Killer Crocodile's late 80s, so it's more needs to be in your face. But so the Great Alligator, like, I watched it first, and then I actually watched it again today. Just because I couldn't really, they got all these, honestly, these three movies got like really clustered in my memory bank. But so I wanted to rewatch the Great Alligator, so I watched it again. And I think that like the first time I watched it, I was really bored the first, act of the movie. First two acts of the movie, but I think on the rewatch, I actually got mildly invested in the actual plot line leading up to the alligator, like carnage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where the first time I just had no interest. So I don't know you guys.
This movie has always been a little bit slower. I feel like it's like a total. It's like it's weird because it's a gator creature feature film that should be a little bit more exciting before you get that big payoff at the end on the boat and stuff like that. But there really is like only a couple kills. You don't really get to see the alligator a whole lot. But yeah, there is a lot of narrative in this one. There really is.
A lot.
Like you got the whole the whole like it's like a photographer guy, right?
Yeah.
And he gets like deeply involved in this gator thing, and then obviously like you have the whole like Jaws aspect where it's like we can't close the beaches.
It essentially is Jaws, right? Which just with this like this native tribe and that whole backstory with the god and stuff like that. But it's pretty much just that. I mean, essentially, Killer Crocodile is exactly Jaws too. It's the same thing. So it's funny, like we'll get to that anyways. But this one, I mean, it's decent for what it is. It's just funny that they try to take it so serious and put so much story and backstory into this, like create this mythology and stuff like that in the movie. It's pretty interesting. I think there's some pretty big misses though in this film, like the scene where they show like all the people slaughtered and stuff like that. I hate that they didn't show any of that. That kind of drives me nuts. Where like where the natives go in there and just like hammer out and kill all the whites. It's pretty awesome, but they don't show any of that. That kind of bugs me. And actually, there's one really awkward part in this film too. It's like leading up towards the third act when Barbara Bach's character gets kidnapped by the Crunya, and they don't even show that. It's like so weird. Like she's all of a sudden in one scene, and then Casanelli like looks out and he's like, "Oh shit! Like she's fucking been abducted and stuff. I need to go fucking find her." And I'm like, when did they get her? Like, seriously, when did they abduct her and like tie her up and shit? Like, they don't even show any of it. I think that every time I watch this movie, I think when me and Dylan watched it one time too, I was like, how the fuck did they just get her? I don't know. It's weird. It's really awkward editing, but yeah, it's definitely not shot overly the greatest too. It's not Martino's best work. You can tell that he really excelled in different type of genres. This one's fine for what it is. It feels so much more amateur-ish than Killer Crocodile for some reason. I think the Killer Crocodile films are actually shot pretty well. So
I think that it's like I do think that it has really good like production value though, and not in terms of the alligator itself, but like everything else.
No, the costumes and the locations are really good in the film.
Yeah, it has it feels really big.
This movie being set in 1979, you know what it feels like to me? Like right at the beginning with like the native tribes and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of like Jungle Holocaust, like Deodato's Jungle Holocaust. It has that same type of feel to it. For me,
totally.
That's kind of what I liked about this, and not necessarily because I like reminded me of like something like Jungle Holocaust, but maybe I just like watched it at the right time. I've kind of like been trying to watch a lot of like kind of like classic horror movies I haven't seen this year, and I didn't realize like how much in like the 30s and 40s they use like kind of like this like native tribe jungle setting so often. It just kind of felt like a cool like throwback and like take on that, and I like it felt like there was like something like fresh on it, and like wrapping it into like a Killer Crocodile film or like,
I predicted that. I predicted that you would like this one the best.
I think I did like this one the best, honestly.
I fucking knew it.
Really? Really?
I knew it. I had a feeling on that.
Oh,
it's 70s. It's more slow and filmy.
Yeah.
And less trashy.
Yeah.
I kind of like the tribes. Like, I just like that whole aspect of it. I just like a couple weeks ago, I just watched that movie. I Walked with a Zombie for the first time, and that was like another like cool take on that sort of like jungle native. And I just really enjoyed seeing it. King Kong, something I saw for the first time this year too, and like just
King Kong.
Yeah, that was a big blind spot.
Holy shit!
Okay, excuse me. What did you just say? Did you just say you've never seen King Kong before?
Yeah, until this year.
Shut the fuck
Did you love it?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I had a lot of fun with it. It was honestly like way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I remember watching it in a theater a few years ago. I had seen it before, but watching it in a theater on the big screen, I was like, "This is actually like a good movie for now. Like it's not even just like a good movie for back in the day.
No, the effects still hold up.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I saw Godzilla for the first time this year too.
Yeah, I remember you saying you'd never seen Godzilla, but I mean, King Kong, really? Like that just blows my mind. I can see King Kong or Godzilla. I think there's some people out there who never seen.
Yeah, I didn't see Godzilla until probably like 2013, 14.
Yeah, but just nobody ever showed me like old movies. I even like didn't really see many of the Universal like real classic monster movies until like 2 years ago. For like the first time. I had to go like see it myself, and it did take me like a while when I first got into horror to like, I'll go watch these movies from the 30s that like I didn't grow up with, you know what I mean?
Every time I watch King Kong, I like it more and more, and it becomes like more of one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's something I'd definitely watch again or like pick a 4K up of. The Warner Archive was like on sale during Amazon Prime Day, so I picked it up then.
I have the Warner Archive, but I have never watched it.
Yeah.
I like how they throw like the girl in the film, the little kid, like Sylvia Colentina or whatever her name is, Manu. I like how she's like
movie.
Yeah, like how she's like pretty much the fucking like the comic relief. Do you guys remember the part where she's like she screams out at her mom? She's like, "You only want to touch my mommy's boobies," and like, I started laughing so fucking hard when I watched this the other night. I was like, I totally forgot about that part, and I'm like, kids really do say the damnedest things, don't they? And it just made me laugh, and I was like, oh my god.
Is this the one where the guy says that you can shit in the water and nobody would notice?
Maybe I don't know.
I think so.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, actually, it is in this one. It is in this one.
It's such a stupid thing to say. Like, what?
Oh my god, that's funny.
I was wondering, like, is that a translation thing, or is that like what he's supposed to say?
Probably what he's supposed to say.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, one thing I've noticed when I've watched this film before is like I feel like they use different alligator props in this film, or maybe it's just the way they shot it, but it looks different from like scene to scene. I swear it does. Like there's no
I think
consistency.
they have like
in the
a
look.
miniature one and then like a big one.
Yeah,
but I think it looks so different. Like that, like obviously, yeah, they had to use two or whatever, but they don't look anything alike.
Mm.
Like they didn't even try in that aspect. I don't think it's funny, man.
Sure,
But yeah, I think one of the funniest parts in this film too is like in the third act when all the tourists are on the boat and stuff, and that one oldie, he's got the rifle and he's like shooting snakes off fucking tree branches and shit. I'm just like, who the fuck does that? He's like on a crowded boat. He's just shooting a rifle. He's got a drink in one hand. He's got a rifle in the other. And he's just like, bam. And he fucking takes out this python off a tree branch. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to mention about this movie. This movie has one of the cruelest scenes I've ever seen in a film without it actually even showing the animal cruelty. In the beginning of the film,
pigs,
when they're fucking fishing, well, not fishing, but they're feeding the crocs these baby piglets. And
wait, what do you mean it doesn't involve animal cruelty?
Well, no, it doesn't show it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're watching like fucking, you know, Cannibal Holocaust and fucking, they show the animals being killed.
Right? Yeah, I'd still say this is cruel.
Yeah, but they don't show it, so I don't actually think that they're killing the pigs in this. Though I think they're using, but yeah, they're obviously not.
Yeah, but they don't have to die for it to be animal cruelty.
True. But I was referring to seeing the animals actually being,
tossed in the water and shit,
being killed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They don't, but like when they're throwing the pigs, they're tied on these ropes and they're just like, yeah, well, you know, if the excuse for feeding the crocs was basically to so they weren't false advertising. What would happen if, you know, the tourists came to this island and we promised crocodiles here or alligators?
Yeah, over there on Gator Bridge.
And I'm like, and there's no gators around. And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess he's got a point there, but fuck, it's just brutal the way they go about it though. I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, it sounds so bad. And they show like two pigs getting thrown in the water. I'm like, dude, come on. Fuck. I don't know.
And then isn't there like some confusion with like the girl says like, this doesn't look like a crocodile. This looks like she says something like that like makes you think it is a crocodile or something. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the line is.
Yeah,
but I was crocodile.
Like, yeah, I think it was around the time she explains that she was like, she's an anthropologist that runs a hotel. I'm like, okay, of course she is.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, like people are confused by crocodiles and alligators, but they're really not that. Like you can just tell by the nose, like Greg just said.
Yeah, it's a snout.
Well, alligators are so much; they're way slender in the nose and stuff. And crocodiles are more flat and they kind of look like what they do in Killer Crocodile. Like they're big, fucking flat, you know, big ass.
They just bake on people not knowing that.
Yeah, they're pretty easy. If you put them side by side, you could tell which one's which.
Oh
yeah. Alligators have a rounded.
Yeah, they're a little bit more slender. Yeah. Yeah. So. But yeah, I don't know. This one, I mean, it's got decent effects in it and stuff. Like, I mean, honestly, like for a creature feature, they throw a lot of story into this, which is pretty interesting. I like that. It's probably not going to be for everybody. I mean, if you're going into this film expecting to be like a crocodile or an alligator slasher film where they're just picking off people one by one and stuff. It's not necessarily like that. It's more of a build up. It's like a slow burn until you get to like the third act. And, you know, I mean, it has its moments. Like I said, there's definitely some misses when the natives kill that whole white fucking tourist people. Like, I think they kind of missed on that. There's some goofiness there and stuff. But, I mean, it's not too bad. I think the end of the film isn't really the greatest either. Like the way they dispose of the alligator, it doesn't really look that good, you know, especially when you watch Killer Crocodile after, you're like, oh god damn. You know, like this one, it's like this one definitely, it's not shot as well. I mean, I don't think that the effects are as good either, but we'll get into that too, the reason why the effects are so good on the next films. But yeah, this one just, you know, it's always been just kind of a fun watch for me. I really like the cast. It kind of sticks out for me. But it's a little bit more serious, which is kind of funny. I still like it though. But Tyler, really, this is your favorite one? Like, so crazy.
I just like I like the music. I kind of felt like I had like a really kind of like cool like beat to it. I felt like the whole movie just kind of was like, it was just like chill.
You know what like the end feels like? It feels more chill. It kind of feels more like, you know, it's supposed to be like a Jaws ripoff and stuff, but like that whole boat scene where people are getting gnarled up and shit, it feels like Piranha. It feels like the beach scene.
A lot like that. Yeah.
Does it not feel like
when
Piranha?
they were all like celebrating at the end, like I was waiting for like the things that like I was like waiting for the sci-fi like 90s ending where like another giant crocodile just like eats them all.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The Cipriani soundtrack, I will agree with you, man. The score is great in this movie, man. I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I thought it was a whole vibe. I liked it. Just like it felt like something different to me. And I think maybe that's what I like. That it was just like it's not like what you'd expect like out of a killer alligator movie.
True.
Yeah.
And it's short, an hour and a half, so it's not super long.
Yeah, it's like 85 minutes. Goes right by.
Yeah, all these movies are around the same length. They're like the appropriate length for this.
Yeah, I agree.
Narrative.
Agree.
Yeah. So. But yeah, no, that is a good point. Like the music is really good from what's his name? It's Caprini.
Cipriani, yeah. Well, I call him Cipriani, so I don't know how you say.
Stelevio.
There you go. From the South, I say Cipriani. So
Caprini. Yeah,
I think it's like Sopranos.
I know. There's Italian names can be pronounced so many different ways. It's like, like I don't even try to even pronounce like some like when it gets into like Japanese names. I'm just like, man, dude.
Same.
Like I just can't do it, man. It's crazy.
I try to let Ian do all my pronunciations. I'm like, go ahead, Ian.
Yeah. But yeah, no, this guy, he's composed music for some movies I love, like JP's favorite, Nightmare City. I always think of the music from that film. But yeah, no, it goes on and on. Actually, speaking of Piranha, didn't he do the music for The Spawning? Piranha 2?
Maybe.
I gotta look this up. I swear he's the guy that did the music for it. Okay, here we go. Yep, I'm right. He did do it. Oh, and it was under an alias of Steve Powder.
Steve Powder.
Oh shit, man! Apparently he did some of the music for Pieces. Also, that's crazy. That's cool.
Nice.
But yeah, one of those names where you just recognize. But yeah, good soundtrack. Do you like this better than? Tyler, do you like the music better than the Riz Orlani score for Killer Crocodile? Because it's the same music in both films, right? It's just they use one piece in two films. I'm pretty sure.
I'm talking more of just like kind of like the keyboard beats, like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Well, the Riz,
I like it better here.
The Riz music from Killer Crocodile, fucking.
It just sounded like they wanted him to do Jaws.
He is doing Jaws, but he puts his spin on it. It's literally starts out as Jaws and then it goes into Riz territory.
It's just like it made me laugh every time that it was just like.
I love the fact that it's like the same music in the first one. They just reuse it in the second one.
It made me laugh like every time like they started playing the music. Like, it's just like so blatantly Jaws. I love it.
It's so blatantly Jaws. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I'm surprised that they were even able to do that.
Yeah, it's just like.
I
I was like, "There's like, yeah, we're making a Jaws ripoff. Like, what the fuck you gonna do about it?"
It's like Vanilla Ice getting sued. Like, wait a minute, shouldn't they get sued? Like,
It just like reminded me of like those like all like the other like Jaws ripoff movies. Like,
well, you look at Cruel Jaws,
or they just like literally steal footage.
Yeah,
right. Like you look at Cruel Jaws, and I mean, they wouldn't even allow that movie in America because it was such a blatant ripoff of Jaws. And I'm like, what about the soundtrack for Killer Crocodile, man, or the score?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Maybe the plan was like, okay, well, if you notice stuff like Cruel Jaws, maybe like you will notice stuff like this.
Yeah, it's so blatantly obvious, though.
This
It's
is a
ridiculous.
deflection.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like the scene where I think the one effect that they do in this film where Joshua, the the shitty fucking hotel bad guy, gets that arrow in the chest that's burning. That actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
that was a good effect.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, there's real flames on there. It's pretty cool. But all in all, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot more to say.
Yeah, let's go into ratings.
All right. Well, Greg, what do you give this bad boy?
I'm gonna give it a 7.5, man. I enjoyed it. Love the 4K. 4K is great. Got some good features on it, man. Severn banged it, like they always do. So I say if you're like me and you just love Gator movies, get it. I don't think it's going to be for everybody, though. So I think you're going to have to go into it temperamental, man. It's like, damn, dude, some people are going to love it and hate it, man. You just got to know that you got to like shitty movies to like it. If you're a Sergio fan, I mean, it's not his best, like you said, Moodz, but definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, for sure. Tyler, what do you give this one?
I'm coming in at a 6.5 on this one.
JP?
I liked it a good bit. I think it's got its pluses and minuses, but overall, I think that it's worth checking out, especially if you like the creature features or alligator movies, crocodile movies. I gave it a 7.
Yeah, I'm also at a 7 too. That's what I originally gave it, so I'll keep my 7. Yeah.
7.
I've actually watched it a couple times in the last couple of years, believe it or not. But yeah, oh yeah, it is no shame. There's a picture of the DVD cover right on the IMDb page here. The Big Alligator River. That's the title that they put it out under. Interesting. All right, so that is The Great Alligator from 1979.
42 shots.
All right, so getting into the second feature here from 1989 called Killer Crocodile, directed by Fabrizio De Angelis. Nailed it. No, I didn't. Probably didn't.
Sounded good to me. Crushed it.
Yeah, I'm not like overly familiar with this guy's work. I know that he did like 6 or 7 of the Karate Warrior movies. I haven't even seen that. That's one of the ones. I have the first one. I know 88 put it out on their Italian line, but I've never watched that one. I don't think I watched it. So, but he's just one of those directors that has done a lot of stuff. But oh no, The Last Match. Oh, okay, I've seen that. That movie's fucking awesome, dude. That's a Cauldron release, man. The Last Match. Okay, so know a couple of his movies, but he's not overly like a household name or anything. So, but yeah, so this one, who does it have in it? I mean, Richard Anthony Srina. I mean, you recognize that guy from a few movies and shit like that. Of course, the score is done by Riz Orlani.
Yeah, that's really the only name I noticed attached to this.
Well, no, because Giovanni De Rossi does the fucking effects in this.
Yeah.
Who ends up directing the second one, which is so bizarre because he only ever directed like that or Killer Crocodile 2, maybe 2 others. He's known as a fucking household like effects artist, right, in Italy.
Yeah.
And so he's the one responsible for designing the crocodile in this one, which is like 4,000 times better than the fucking last movie.
Yeah, I thought the crocodile looked really good in these movies.
Dude, this thing is fucking... They created the biggest fucking crocodile, like practical crocodile. It's huge. It looks fucking massive, man. Like, it's just ridiculous how over the top they went with this.
I think out of all the crocodile alligator movies, I think that this is probably second best looking next to Alligator.
Yeah, 1980 Alligator.
Yeah, Alligator
It was
looks
like
better.
so massive. So I love what you're saying, Moods. How gigantic, like this.
Yeah,
one
this thing
Alligator
is huge.
1980.
You can even see it better in the second one, really.
Yeah, totally.
Well, yeah, because there's a scene where Kevin in the second one's actually like on its back, and then you get a real clear picture of how big it actually is. You're like, holy shit, that's a huge fucking prop. Yeah. And it is the same one in the second one because they actually shot these movies like simultaneously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figured they did.
Yeah, so obviously.
Yeah, because I was like, holy shit, this is like the first Italian movie that I've ever seen that has fucking continuity.
Yeah, I expected it to be like I just assumed it was just like a name-only sequel, and it was just going to be like...
Dude, the first time I watched these...
like just a borrowed title, and then like all of a sudden it ends like right as the first one... It starts like right as the first one ends. It was like,
well, let's face it, like every sequel we've ever watched in the Italian films has been like that, so like it is a shock. It's a shock to the system. You're like, holy shit, there's reoccurring characters and there's fucking the narrative is in the same place. It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that never happens.
No, it's really interesting that they did that. But again, they shot the movie and then they shot the other one. Might as well use the same crocodile, so pretty cool. So synopsis: a group of environmentalists arrive at a faraway tropical delta where toxic waste is being dumped. However, the water also hides a giant crocodile. The corrupt local officials don't help much either. Well, yeah, because it's a Jaws ripoff, man. Mm-hmm. They're covering shit up. They just want to keep shit going, right?
Yeah.
I love when in movies like companies trying to hide the fact they're dumping toxic waste or fucking radiated waste, but they label their fucking tanks with fucking
radiation,
hazardous waste and shit on them.
Hazardous waste. Oh my god!
It's the 1960s Batman. We got to label everything. Like, let's just put a big label that says illegal.
You know what's so funny about this too? Like, if you're trying to like hide the fact that you're using the fucking the river as a dumping ground, you might want to fucking figure out hiding your barrels a little bit better than where they were. Yeah. Like these guys just roll in on a boat. They're like, oh, there they are. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're not even trying here, man. Like that's ridiculous. So
really and I'm like, fucking this, the last show we did 2 shows ago, fucking House was dealing with toxic waste. I'm like, dude, the 80s fucking loved toxic waste, bro.
Trioxin, man.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucking rights. But yeah, no, this is I love this movie. Like, I absolutely love this movie. I think it is one of the best Jaws ripoffs / crocodile, killer crocodile, giant crocodile films out there. I think it's shot like really good. It looks good. Like the crocodile itself, the effects, like the practical gore effects in this look really good. I mean, it's your typical storyline about toxic slug mutating a crocodile into like the fucking world's biggest, like what do they say this thing is like 30 meters or something? Like not 30 meters, but like it's like but it literally long. But it literally looks that big on screen. That's what's so cool about this film. Like the scene in this film where the crocodile like busts through the dock and is like trying to get the kid and pulls the one dude through the dock and shit. It's fucking awesome, man.
Oh yeah.
I love that scene, dude. It looks so rad the way they shot it and shit. Like that guy gets sucked through the dock and the girl's like hanging out.
That scene's like probably the best in the movie.
Dude,
there's the end scene's really good
like,
too.
God, that girl's hanging for her life, and I'm like, all the tribes people are coming up there, and not a goddamn one of them wants to go out there and help her. They're all just staring. It takes the damn people that came to just fucking do whatever to go out there and try to risk their lives. The parents,
yeah,
nobody's doing nothing. They're all just staring around. Like, what the fuck? Go out there and get the damn girl. Like, damn. Oh my God.
Right. But this one actually has a bunch of scenes like that through the film before we get into the third act too. Like a bunch of people get, eaten and ripped apart and shit like that. So it has a little bit more action than the Great Alligator.
Yeah.
And this one's got way better effects too. So it has that. And it just looks a lot better. I just think this, like, it's shot way better. I think it was easier to shoot too, because like the mechanics on the crocs seem a little bit more realistic, right? You could actually do a little bit more wide out, far out shots on it and stuff, and it looked pretty good. Like the eyes looked amazing on this thing. They look fucking creepy.
There was like one shot out of both the movies where you could kind of like see like any type of like flaw with it, but you could also like they probably never expected the movie to like look this good where like you could see it.
Right.
Well, what I loved about this one, like I love 1980 Alligator is my favorite Gator movie, but most of it was outside the water, right? You got them walking across city,
Yeah.
Well, this one, a lot of it's in the water, so I love that. Like, man, it's got to be so much harder to film in water, man.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
So I give him a bang up job, man. I love the fucking bodies in the mouth, man. It just, oh man, Dan looks good.
Yeah, it really does. And yeah, it's another scene too. Like it just goes to show how big that crocodile is with the bodies that is like hanging out either side of the mouth and shit. It's huge. It just it never ceases to amaze me every time I watch this film. I'm like, damn, dude, the effect, like the effort put into building this thing it looks so good. It really does look so good. Good shit though.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah, like the body count in this film is a lot higher, especially the on-screen body count.
Mm-hmm.
Way higher than the last movie. So, but I love this. I love this.
Talk about the funniest part of the movie, though. You got to think about the flying hat, like
oh yeah,
the frisbee hat through the hair.
Oh yeah,
dude, the Quint character. I call him Quint.
Yeah, I know.
I call this guy like he's like the tougher version of Quint because he fucking lives.
Yeah, Joseph.
That scene made me laugh so hard when he was like, "I'm gonna go kill that thing," and they're like, "Well, we won't watch it." Or he said something about like them being like, "Oh, you're probably a bunch of hippies that want to save him." Fucking dying.
He's totally that old man mentality. He's like, "You fucking hipsters, fucking blah blah blah." It's awesome. Yeah. But like, literally, this guy is the Quint character. He just walks in there and he's like, "Yeah, we need to kill this thing." And he's like, "You can consider it already done." He's just got the greatest lines, right? But like, the greatest thing about this guy is that he's totally Quint, but he fucking goes out of his way. He gets out of the boat and grabs this fucking, like, I don't know what you call a big fucking spear thing. And he's basically surfing on the crocodile and he's stabbing this thing and it takes him under.
Badass.
It's fucking badass, dude. Like, who would actually get out and just get on this thing and just fucking die? Because he starts shooting, it's not working. I'm gonna get out of the boat and fucking surf this thing into the water. And that's a cool moment in the film too, because like, he goes down. And we can talk about this too, because there's literally nudity. It's just full of continuity.
Not until the second one.
So these characters actually like come back and stuff. So, but anyways, like he goes, the croc takes him under the water, and like you just assume that he died, right? Because he has, he's kind of a side character. If you watch Jaws, Quint dies, and you're like, okay, well, the hero fucking dies, whatever, blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden, like. You get this fucking hat later on, and it's like he fucking throws this hat over, and it's all in slow mo. And dude, the music is so fucking. Oh my god, I piss myself every time with that. But the fact that he lives in this fucking movie, dude. It's amazing. Oh, it's so awesome, man. He's like one of the funnest characters, man. He's got some great lines in this, and he's like perfect for the role. But I just love how they bring him back in the second one, pretty much to just perish. It's such a waste. But whatever.
So quick too. It was so quick.
It's that total sequelitis thing, right? Like, you got fucking, the characters survive and then they die in the first 5 minutes of the next movie, which actually isn't true because these characters don't even show up until almost an hour into the movie.
Had to cut some payroll.
I was like, damn, I was surprised to see him too. Yeah. And like, I actually like the lead dude as well. Like, I actually think the cast is pretty fun in these movies.
Yeah, Richard Anthony, Sheena is his name, whatever.
Karina, I think, but yeah.
Yeah, Karina. Yeah. Yeah, he's cool, man. I like that guy.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, when we were at Wasteland, I was trying to convince Tyler to buy these two movies because I'm pretty sure that like the limited the Killer Crocodile with 1 and 2 from Severin was limited to like a couple thousand or something, and then they just released Killer Crocodile, just the first one in like a standard edition.
Oh shit, they didn't release. Yeah. See, I have the box set from 88 Films where it has. It's a hard box and it's got this 2 separate films in their own cases. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I never grabbed the Severin one.
Severin sent the Severin. You got like both the front cover. I don't know if you can see camera, but I got you got Killer Crocodile cover on the front, and then Killer Crocodile 2 on the back.
Yeah, that was the one I had.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, right. And Tyler, and then I was watching in the first one, And I'm watching it. I'm like, Tyler, you missed out. You should have picked this up.
Totally.
It's a great. I will 100% return to these movies in the future.
Dude, this movie is so much fun, man. And honestly, it's paced pretty good too. Like, there's always like these interactions that you're interested. I just love when they're like at the morgue. And these guys are like the most typical bad people. Like, you know, they're totally covering up shit. And in the mortician or whatever, the guy's doing the autopsy or whatever. And he's like, not the mortician, but the what's the guy's name that does the autopsies? The
coroner.
The coroner.
Yeah, coroner. There you go.
Yeah, the mortician's the guy that beautifies the bodies. My bad.
Wait, no, is it?
No, the coroner is the guy that like takes the guts out and stuff.
Yeah, the coroner is the guy that does the autopsies. The morticians are the people that make you beautiful for the open caskets and shit, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so the coroner, he's like, yeah, this could have been done, or this could have been caused from a bite or a propeller or something like that. I'm thinking propeller, like you would know right away that wasn't a fucking propeller. And then these guys are like totally
denying. Don't they say that in
Jaws?
They tried to say the girl was like from it was like a boating accident.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they don't want to think that this is actually happening, kind of thing, right? Yeah. But but this is like, this is the guy doing the autopsy, right? And like, you would know right away if it was a fucking bite or a propeller. I mean, come on, like even us that doesn't do that for a living would be able to figure that out. It was kind of stupid. But anyways, these guys pipe up and are like, no, I don't think so. And they're like trying to steer it the other way. Like, well, maybe you killed her. Yeah. It's like the most stereotypical scene ever where these guys are like, no, it wasn't Big Crocodile. It was not that. And it's like so ridiculous. I love that scene. But like, if you actually look at the girl that's in that fucking almost like that brick tub thing, like the body, like the effect looks awesome. Like she's actually missing a leg and all gnarled up and shit. It looks pretty good, man. Like the effects are awesome. Like I kept looking at it going, man, it doesn't look like it's like a fake body. It actually looked like her. It was really cool, man. The effects are awesome in that. So, but yeah, I know it's got a lot of stereotypical kind of, antagonists in the film and shit, which I like. It's just fun. Silly fun. So
when the kids were like being snobs and they were like, I want to save you, when they were like, I'm gonna stop you, I was kind of like, oh, good, I hope these kids get fucking eaten.
Chew them up, spit them out. Oh.
I just like the whole transition though, like with Kevin's character. He's like, they don't want to kill it. Like he wants to save the shit.
Yeah, it was after that part. Then they went to try to save him. He ate some of his friends and he was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, the guy, remember when they're on the boat?
The Quint guy's like, are you gonna fucking, what are you gonna do? Try to save it or something? He's like, if I see it, I'm gonna.
He's like, what do you mean? You don't think I can do it? Yeah. But like, I like that. Actually, that nighttime scene where they're on the boat and the croc attacks them and shit, and they're like trying to get back to the shore and they're like making a beeline and like the guy gets eaten up and shit. That whole scene is fucking awesome, dude. It's got great suspense in it, and it's like it's shot really well because it's dark. And honestly, like watching it on, I think the 88 and the snaps, they're different transfers, but it looks so good. Like I remember, when I originally watched these movies, I had an old French release. It was a French DVD release that actually had how the snaps did their artwork, but it was different. So they had part 1 on the cover on the front, and then part 2 was on the back. But it was a DVD version. It was from France,
Severin, not snaps,
or from Severin. I mean, not snaps. Yeah. And so like that's how I watched that before, and it was really dark. I remember those scenes being really, really dark. And again, the 88 Blu-ray, I was like, holy shit, this shit is fucking phenomenal, man. They made those nighttime scenes look so good. Really, really good. I love that scene. It's like actually one of my favorites in the scene in the film because it's totally his transition with his character. He's like, I can do it now.
Yeah, and that Ortolani score, even though it is Jaws ripoff, man, it was great right there, man. That tension's give me a little Tim there.
And it really does help though that like the crocodile looks so good.
Yeah.
Like it just looks viciously huge. Like there's no fucking around. Like you didn't have to use miniatures in this because they built it so big. Everything else looked really small. Like it was just amazing. Yeah, it's pretty awesome shit, man. Yeah. But I still think, I mean, if you compare the ending of this movie to The Great Alligator, there's no comparison of how fucking awesome this shit is. Like, I remember watching this movie years ago for the first time and thinking to myself, he is literally gonna grab this motor and start gnarling it up. but he doesn't even think twice about doing that. He fucking throws it in his mouth.
That was pretty funny.
It's the great, but to make things even better, like the effect's awesome, man. It's gnarling up this crocodile, man. He's totally getting eaten up and shit, and then it explodes.
Yeah.
It goes that step to do the Jaws thing, right? Of course, they did in the first one too. They exploded it's the Jaws effect, right? But
they exploded in all three.
I know, but I mean that's really what you got to do, right? You got to keep it real to ripping off Jaws. But I think this is the best one, though. This one makes me howl to the moon with laughter, and like how good it is, man. Like, it's just fucking awesome. It's one of the greatest fucking kill scenes of a giant animal or creature in a film I've ever seen. I love it, man. I think it's awesome.
I think the best one is like Tremors.
No, Tremors is good. Yeah. But
because it always explodes and everybody gets all stinky.
He throws an outboard into the mouth, dude. Come on.
Direct hit.
I mean, the fact that he got it in there was good timing and everything. Oh, it's awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Why did it explode?
Exactly. I thought somebody
because it would be funny if it did.
Because that's the funny part about it. And then that's what I said. And then it explodes. And like, how does it even explode? Like everything doesn't work like that. So
it burns forever. I'm like, damn, I thought the water would have took that shit out. But yeah, I guess the alcohol or the gas in it. I don't know. It was a great effect, though. I mean, damn.
It is, man. Like everything in this movie, like obviously, we have DeRossi doing the film or doing the effects and shit. Like, what you're getting yourself into if you know the name and shit. But it really does, like these high def transfers and the effects hold up so well. It's amazing to me. It really does amaze me. Fuck. Good film though, man. I think this one's really underrated, like in terms of being an actual decent film. Like it's shot well. It sounds good. It's, the story's pretty basic for what it is, but the locations are really good. Like this is tough filmmaking. When you're filming, like you mentioned, Greg, you mentioned like in the Great Alligator review that like filming in water and stuff is tough to do. Yeah, it is fucking hard to do. It's challenging. It takes a lot of effort. It probably takes a lot of time and fucked up shots and because I mean you gotta rely on so many different things to be perfect and shit like that, but these are low budget films. Let's face it, this is 1989, and if you know anything about Italian cinema in 1989, they had no fucking budgets on these movies, man. Like this is when Italian films were basically being laughed at. Like nobody, I mean, this is the reason why they pretty much stopped making films, because like the industry crumbled for them. And 1989 to make a film like this with these type of effects, but still putting in max effort with, Ortolani's score in there, even though it is Jaws with his own little twist. But, there's so much effort here and I applaud them for what they were doing. We've reviewed quite a few films recently from this, I call it like the dark era of Italian cinema, because it was the end of Italian cinema as we knew it, right? Mm-hmm. And we've reviewed, with SYB Bin and stuff, like we did a bunch of films like Spectres and all that type of shit. Like all these movies came out in this time period, like 88, 89 and shit. And there's a lot of real good gems in here, but this one sticks out, man, for me. I don't know what it is. I've always loved this movie. It's so much fucking fun. I just could watch it all day long. It's great. So...
Yeah, and then you think about underwater, like the water itself, man, the pollution. I know they were talking about Krenna had got dysteria from this movie, being in the water. So, I mean, all this shit, man, like this ain't like no damn crystal clear lake you're filming in. I mean, it's fucking Amazonian like type damn water. Fuck that, dude.
Yeah, absolutely not. Well, that's what makes the scene in part 2 really funny, is when the girl loses her knife in the water and she's like, later on in the film, she's like, I think I lost my knife around here. I'm like, you're never going to find it. You're like in swamp water. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit's probably in fucking 14 feet of like soot or silk now. I'm like, there's no way. And that's ridiculous, but so stupid. Ah, shit. Good stuff. So Tyler, what are your thoughts on this one? So I'm curious because, like, you said the last one was your favorite film and you gave it a 6.5, and I'm like, okay,
yeah.
What do you got on this one?
This one, I'm actually also at a 6.5. I just prefer the other one. They're kind of just two different types of films, and if I was just gonna watch one, I would probably watch the other one more often. I mean, I just think that one's a little bit better, but they're pretty similar though. I think most people probably will like this one because this one definitely is more like action based. It's got like better kills and like it's more of your traditional film. I think we had just like it a good basis for comparison is I'm sure like a lot of people grew up watching the like those 90s like sci-fi like alligator movie ripoffs. Like this movie feels like a lot more like that. It feels a lot like those movies, but it's like much better than what you like would have seen in those movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
I like how they foreshadow with the dog too. Like it's very subtle, but like when they're on the boat, like traveling to their destination, there's a girl on the boat too, and she's got a dog and stuff, and the camera kind of pans in on the dog a couple different times. I'm like, oh yeah, that dog's gonna die within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me. I'm like, every time you see an animal in one of these movies, you know it's gonna die like 2 scenes later, and that's exactly what fucking happens, right? I'm just like, oh my god, so ridiculous. But yeah, but they didn't show it, so I'm not a big fan of dogs getting gnarled up on screen. I'm a dog person, so. But yeah, so you give this one a 6.5?
Yep.
Crazy. Yeah, I wasn't really suggesting we do ratings now, but JP,
I thought that's what you were saying.
No, I mean it actually technically was your go, but yeah. So
that's
JP,
that's what you were saying.
What do you got on this one?
For me, this is an 8.
Really? Yeah, this is up there with Alligator for myself. I mean, I think we're all in agreement that, you know, Alligator is one of the better ones. Greg, you said it was your favorite one, right?
It's my favorite as well.
Yeah, Alligator's good. Alligator was a contender for my 1980 list.
Yeah, Alligator's a 10 for me, man. They just don't get no better than that one.
Yeah, I would have to. I know I've done this list before. I can't remember where they spotted, but this is one of my favorites, man. I love this movie. You know, it's just such a fucking blast, dude. I got a 9 on this one. Greg, what do you got?
Nice.
Yeah, I was originally, man, at an 8, but dude, I'm an 8.5 now, and it still keeps going up, man. I could actually go to a 9, but I'll be honest, Crocodile 2, Killer Crocodile 2 is actually, I like it a little bit better than this one, believe it or not. So
really?
Yeah, I don't know why, man. I just anyways, but yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But no, this is like an 8.5 for me.
I just like the characters a little bit more in this one, like with the antagonist, like the judge and stuff. Like his death is pretty fun. Yeah. Actually, his death is pretty fucking sweet in this movie. But you know what part really cracks me up in this? It's just like, it's just one of those, you know, they have to throw that in there. But the scene where I think it's Kevin, he goes to talk to the sheriff and he's eating breakfast. I think it's him. Mm-hmm. And he's like sitting there eating his fucking Caribbean breakfast or whatever. And then the camera pans down in the middle of the conversation. There's this dude like shining his shoes. Like,
yes.
It's only because the guy's just fucking giving her, man. I'm just like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm like, who gets their shoes shine while they're eating fucking breakfast? Like this corrupt fucking politician / judge or whatever. I'm like, oh, of course. It just made me laugh so funny.
He was evil.
Yeah. So, it's just funny. It's just the way they filmed it was so funny to me. I'm like, oh my god, it's ridiculous. But yeah. I mean, I guess that's it. You guys have anything else that we didn't cover? JP?
No.
Are you watching football? It's winning the game.
Not right. Well, it is on, but I wasn't watching it right now.
Oh, shut up! You weren't watching it. I heard him say, you know, if you had your camera on right now, I could tell you're looking up at the fucking screen right now.
I was actually looking down at my phone.
All right. But yeah, man. I mean, anytime you got a dude that's like stabbing the shit out of a crocodile, surfing on it, that's a winner for me, man. That's a winner.
Hell yeah.
All right.
It was a pretty wild ride.
Yeah, this is a fun movie, man. All right, so that is Killer Crocodile from 1989. All right, so getting into the third and final review here for episode 271. 1 year later, we get Killer Crocodile 2, directed by Gianni De Rossi. So I don't know where this came from. Maybe he just... I would like to know the story on why they filmed these, like how he became the director of this movie. Like, I wonder if there was a plan to do 2 of these from the start, or if they're just like, because they filmed them pretty much at the same time. So it's not like they were waiting for the first one to do good. They just made 2 of these. Maybe they fucking took one budget and just split it into 2 movies. Who knows?
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's just really interesting to me that they shot these at the same time. But that's why we got the reoccurring characters and shit like that. So, but anyways, synopsis. The Caribbean swamp, which is to be made into a holiday resort, is terrorized again by a second monstrous crocodile, which is killing off anyone unfortunate to be on the water. Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So this one is actually, I don't know, like time-wise in the movie, how much after it is the first one, but it's obviously a little bit after because like it's the same area. It's like a different, I'm assuming that they just did a different resort because it's like a new owner and stuff like that. They don't really explain that too much.
Yeah, and the through line of
suggest...
the toxic waste is still there, so it's clearly the same area.
So I think it's I think they've just rebuilt. They just designed like a new kind of island spot for tourism or whatever. But yeah, it's taken over by another guy, and of course it's pretty much, it just takes over the same narrative. This time it doesn't really have like a scummy judge and everything. It's the same type of shit, man. The guy that's running this new resort is, apparently has cleaned up, the river and the swamp areas and stuff like that. But in actuality, he's doing the same thing that they were doing in the first one. He's hiding toxic waste in there and shit like that, just lying to everybody about it and stuff like that. So, in steps our main character, Lisa, who is a journalist from New York. She works for the New York, not Times, something else, Post or something like that. I don't know what it is. Anyway, she goes down there to basically look around and poke around and see what's going on and stuff like that. And we do get recurring characters. Kevin shows up later on. The point of him being there is he's actually there to meet up with Lisa. Like they have a history together, right? And it's kind of a little bit unclear in the narrative. Like they obviously talk about like how they had a history and stuff like that. Do they mention why he's there to meet her at any part in the film? Because they clearly are not getting back together because they're kind of fighting and stuff. It's weird.
Didn't she call him or something? Isn't that why they met up? Because I thought there was a moment where she called him on a payphone or something. And that he knew that she was gone, like she was missing while he showed up, or he knew.
No, he finds out after that she was gone. Like he went there because he went to the hotel to meet her.
That's right.
And then he finds out that she went onto the water and then she never came back. So then he went and then he goes and looks for her. Mm-hmm. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe she does call him, because she knew that he was there at that place and he was responsible for, finding out about the toxic dump and stuff like that. Yeah, you could be right on that. So anyways, but yeah, so Kevin returns as the kind of the main character, and then Joe is back in this one for a brief minute.
Poor Joe.
Poor Joe, man. He didn't deserve that fate, man. He did not deserve that fate.
He got a paycheck for a day of shooting.
But which is cool because this one, it literally looks and feels like the first movie. Like the narrative isn't as good in this one, in my opinion. But it has like the same locations. It has the same look. It has the same soundtrack. It's essentially like the same movie again, but just a little bit different. And of course we get, some really good effects and stuff, but I think this one shot really good too. I think it's shot even better than the first one, which is crazy. Like the cinematography in this film looks amazing. It looks really, really good. It's obviously the same crocodile, so they didn't falter there. In fact, we get some really cool shots of, like Kevin when he was on it towards the end of the film and stuff. And you really get to see how big it is. And you're just like, damn, dude, what the fuck? I would like to know exactly how big they built this thing, because I swear it's like 30 feet long. Like it's fucking huge.
Yep.
So pretty cool, man. But Greg, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, like I said, it's slight for me. I enjoy it slightly a little bit better than the first one, but they're both going to come out. I mean, spoiler rating wise, the same, but I just prefer this one a little bit more, man. I don't know. There's that one killer scene with the crocodile bringing the hut with them, and that I just thought was great. It almost had that killer orca or something, coming up on the boat. I just enjoyed that scene, man. It's just got some cool scenes in it, man. I think it's got eye candy in this one. There's some cool effects in this one for sure. And it does look, I agree with you. I think it does look a little bit better than the first one, and the first one looks great. Mm-hmm. I kind of enjoy this one.
Actually, one thing I forgot to mention actually in Killer Crocodile from the first one was like the way the opening credits roll. I love that scene where you got the two old men bitching about not catching anything, and it's quite obvious the reason why they're not catching anything, but it's like nighttime, and then all of a sudden this fucking croc comes out of like behind the boat, and it's like, you know, he goes to eat them, and then it goes into Killer Crocodile. I thought that was the greatest fucking the way to introduce the you know, the header in the credits and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Well, then this one you get the whole backstory of the first one, you know, the couple scenes, and then you get the flying hat in this one again too. So
that's funny. That's the funny thing about this movie. It's like they almost pad out the time a little bit by showing flashbacks. Yeah, because it's like he's having flashbacks or something like that. He's just like, oh man, that happened to me, and he's like having flashbacks of fucking, you know, this Killer Crocodile and what happened and shit. It's like, of course you would, man. I'd be traumatized too, man. But yeah, the fact that they replay the hat scene is really gold. It's pretty fucking gold, man. It's awesome. But
and you gotta love the Geiger meter that she walks around with. That ain't
dude,
a Geiger meter.
I literally have that in my notes. I'm like, she literally has a fucking Geiger meter. She's like, dude, I think that part is so utterly fucking funny, man. So they have this one like kind of sneak character where he's obviously working for the man, he's working for the bad hotel manager or whatever. Anyways, he goes and snitches out that, like, you know, she paid some fishermen to go take her out in the water and stuff like that. So they go to this guy and they say, hey, we're gonna pay you to like scare her and shit like that, right? And this scene is actually my favorite, pretty much besides the end scene in this film. But this is one of my favorite scenes where he just kind of stops the motor in the middle of the water and he stands up and he's just staring at her with these fucking eyes. He's not saying anything. And he's standing there and then he unzips his pants and she fucking starts laughing. She's like, bro, I'm from New York. You can't scare me. And that was literally the whole point of him doing this, was to scare her. She just like totally didn't buy into it. And then he's like pulling down his pants or whatever. And then she pulls a knife on him and he falls out of the boat and shit. And she's like, wow, I'm from New York. We got way bigger weirdos up there. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's such an awesome part, man. I'm just like she's so kick ass. Doesn't phase her one bit. I'm like, is that really what they said to do? Like, hey, you know, they said to scare her, but like this guy took it as I'm going to rape her. Like, what the fuck? It's like,
that'll scare her, right?
It's so sleazy, but in New York, she's like, yeah, you can't do that to me, man. I've got a huge 9-inch shank here, man. You know, it's like, I got this big Rambo knife in my fucking purse. But yeah, that part is ridiculous, man. It's so much fun.
And then she pulls it for the alligator. Like, what are you going to do? Or the crocodile? What are you going to do with that knife with the crocodile? What are you going to scratch his nuts or something? I mean, come on, dude.
That's fucking awesome, man. Oh, that's good shit. Actually, one funny scene in this film, which I actually forgot about when I was rewatching it earlier, and the scene where the croc actually, like, fucking how many kids does the croc eat in that one scene? Like, at the end of the scene, there's nobody left. There was like, what, 20 kids on that boat, and there's no kids
that
left.
Was fucked up. It's like a nun and a bunch of fucking like African children.
It's literally like, yeah, 2 nuns and probably like 10 or probably like 15 African kids. And the end of that scene, there's nobody left. So they ate all the kids. Dude, it's like mean spirited too, because it like comes out of nowhere. They're like floating down the water singing like their church hymns or whatever, and they're just like bah, 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 and all of a sudden wham, and all these kids are like bah, and they're getting fucking gnarled up in the water.
Those POV shots of the gator from the water were classic too, though, because you know it's coming. They don't. They're having a good time. You just see them. You're looking through the eyes of the gate or the crocodile, man. You're like, fucking A, dude. God dang.
It feels like a fucking slasher film at that point, right? Yeah. You're like following the killer, right? And it's like POV, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go get you. But it's just the simple fact that like there was nobody left in that scene. Again, it goes to prove my point of how big this alley. He just ate like fucking 18 people, man. It's so stupid. I love it. Oh man. But it's the fact that it was nuns and kids. I mean, how could you not be breaking out the tissues on that one?
I know. I was like, Jesus.
That's my favorite.
Like, this is a bit mean spirited.
Right. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that shit is really funny, actually, because it's like they don't have to put a scene where you slaughter like 15 kids in it.
Kids getting killed in movies is like the funniest thing to me. Just because like It's like it's so dark that like you can't help but just laugh.
Yeah. And it's so brutal too, because there's like this one kid, he's getting gnarled up, and there's one that's like floating in the water, and I'm like, oh my god, it's brutal. It's so brutal. Yeah. But I do like DeRossi's like direction in this too. Like you can tell he was a little bit more sleazy with this one. He focuses on a lot of like girls' booties, and he's trying to get those titty shots and the cleavage, and he's trying to get those, you know, those nipples through the wet t-shirts and stuff. Like it's a little bit more sleazy than the last film. Like there's really, I think there's one scene in the previous film where, is it in this one or is it in the first film? I can't even remember if it's in the Martino film where the vacationer, the one chick like rips off her top and her tits come out and she jumps in the water. I think that's actually the Martino film. But there's honestly not that much nudity in these films. Now when I really think about it, it's crazy.
Yeah, there's like a titty shot in this movie.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you can tell the cinematography is a little bit more sleazy though. It's like got these nice little booty shots and shit. It's pretty good.
Well, yeah, let's sleaze this one up a bit. Oh.
Yeah, might as well, man. I mean, it's opportunity too, right? I mean, it's like,
I think that's the kind of thing these movies want. I was actually a little disappointed the first one wasn't a little sleazier.
Well, you think like, you know, in an island setting with tourism and stuff, like what do people do? And, you know, these are European movies too. Like it's a little bit more normal not to have your top on and shit. So you think you would see a little bit more titties and shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not as sleazy as you think they would be. I mean, if these movies were made in 1972, like Giallo style, holy shit, man, we'd be getting muff every 5 minutes. Like strip nude for your killer muff? That would be amazing.
Yes. That's what it needed.
Right.
It would have been a 10. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But yeah, it never really goes that bad. So, but I do like how they name like Pedro the pervert. I fucking started laughing. So I'm like, how the fuck did I not remember Pedro the pervert? Dude, that's so good. Oh shit, man. These movies are so much fun, dude. Like these are like ultimate movies to watch with your buddies with some beer because you don't need to know the story. Like it's all about visuals, right? And these ones are visually, they work so well because the croc looks awesome. The cinematography, like the locations are all good, man. It's these are a blast, man. These are a blast. But I think my biggest complaint with this movie though is like just underutilizing Joe. Like I feel like if you actually watch, I actually rewound this scene because I'm a fucking nerd like that. But like in the scene where Joe falls into the water and he's like getting gnarled up from the croc and shit.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like got his arm out there trying to save him and shit like that. If I actually rewound, I'm like, did he just bypass his arm? Like he totally could have grabbed his hand. He was so close. I think he actually reaches past him at one point, but the scene is for him not to grab it. Right. But I'm like, man, that's really funny.
Yeah, I'm screaming at my wife like he's right there. Like,
I know.
Did you not grab it?
Right.
Did you not feel like he was going to survive? Like he already did first. And I was like, dude, he's going to pop up here in a minute. He's going to.
I felt like his death wasn't
going to survive.
It wasn't like
a little wasted.
It did seem wasted. It felt like he went down way too easy. You know what I mean? Like he was Joe. He was the guy that surfed on a croc, went down and came up, and like even in the first movie, like there's a scene where he cuts his arm with this big shank just to bait the fucking croc. Like this guy's badass. He's bleeding everywhere and shit, and then he gets taken out like that. I'm like, oh man, come on. It didn't seem noble enough for him. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a Viking. It wasn't admirable Viking death. You know, it's like, I don't know. Could have been a little bit more.
Yeah.
So
poor Ennio. Ennio, you got your fame, buddy. You done great. Everybody loved you, Joe.
Yeah, man. He was bad. Like I said, man, you know, he was like almost like the tougher version of Quint because he survives in the first one, right?
Yeah.
But then I don't know what the hell they were thinking with this, man. They should have had him come back. Like he comes out of that a second time. That would have been fucking hysterical. Actually, you know what would have been really funny about that scene? If they had done it like this, where he goes under and they show him at the end of the movie and he's got fucking Lisa's knife. He found her knife in the water.
Dude, yes. Rewrite this movie, man. Do it.
Dude, we're going to remake it and that's going to be a scene in the film right there. But I love that. I love that scene because like, I love that scene so much with Kevin because like when she jumps in the water and she's trying to find her knife, and I'm like, dude, this is so ridiculous. 2 minutes later, Kevin goes, yeah, this is utterly ridiculous. You're never going to find your knife down there. And I'm like, exactly. Like, exactly what I just said out loud. It's so stupid. It's so funny because he literally says, this is ridiculous. I'm like, oh my God, like, you got to be kidding me. But I guess when the knife means something that, that much to you, you got to find it, right? But oh, fuck, man. Yeah. So the end of the movie, is it better to you, Greg, than the first one? Or do you like this one better?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of almost ended the same for me. Like, it almost had that same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like, which one do you like better? Do you like the propeller or do you like the dynamite? Like,
yeah, I mean, either way, they both explode. So, and when,
I mean, it's kind of funny that like she throws it, he like catches it like he's receiver and like dunks it.
Yeah, I guess the propeller was better, but I mean, the fact that she threw this like Brett Favre through the air, I mean, I thought was pretty killer. She had a great arm.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the fact that he had a way to light it, after he's been in the water and shit, and just bam, I thought, that's
and then he had time to like jump off the crocodile, not get eaten, and like swim to safety.
Does he actually light it, or does he fucking?
I think she lights it, and then she throws it to him, and he catches it while it's lit, and it somehow doesn't go out.
Yeah, you need to rewatch it.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Either way,
I think the outboard motor though, like you can't top that shit because like to throw it that far, like those things aren't even light, dude. Have you ever picked one of those up before? They're heavy. Heavy as shit, man. It's like picking up a fucking cast iron.
I like tried to throw it over my head and like nicked my own head and just took myself out on the beach.
Oh shit! Did this one end with an egg like it did in the first one? Wasn't there an egg at the end of this?
So I was actually going to bring that up and I forgot to. I actually had written my notes, but yeah. So the first movie ends after they explode the crocodile. It pans over and it sees a big ass egg basically hatching, and of course that's supposed to be what we get in part 2 here. But you know what really bugged me about that is the fact that they actually noticed those eggs before, because they even say it in dialogue too. They're like, yeah, there's like eggs over here and stuff like that. So after they killed the crocodile, why didn't they go find the eggs and dispose of those too?
Hello.
Right? Because it's not like they didn't notice them. It's not like we're just getting that point of view of like, oh, there's the eggs and it's hatching, but they had actually mentioned it, that they saw it. So I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things. It's not really a big fucking deal, but yeah, I think this one does it end with one hatching again?
Don't remember. For some reason, I feel like it was, but maybe I don't know. I'm kind of like JP at the very beginning when he said they kind of all, or it might have been you, Tyler, where you said like they all kind of come together. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, in theory, these movies all kind of are the same. Like they're have very similar settings. Like they're all, well, especially, these two movies literally have the same setting. It's the same location.
Yeah, this is like just the same movie.
Yeah,
they just had to like kind of fill out the characters different in this because they were out of environmentalist kids.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool though. Like we mentioned before, that it's not very often you get continuity in these films and like recurring characters and stuff. I think it's pretty interesting that they did these for like killer crocodile films. Pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
I like that. So yeah, but GP, what do you got?
Yeah, I like this one a little bit less because I think that there's a little less actual croc action, I would say. But yeah, I give it a 7 out of 10.
You got a 7 on this one? Okay. I am in at an 8 on this one. I think it's, pretty much the same film. I don't like it as much, but yeah, I think it's still really fun. And we know Greg likes it more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, I think I spoiled it earlier. I'm still 8.5 on it like I was with the first one, but I just prefer this one just a hair more. But, tick for tack, man, they're both, just so fun. It's hard to say. I mean, Alligator's 10. This is 8.5. Could go a 9, but I'll do 8.5 on both of them.
I mean, it does score a lot of points for that massacre on those poor African kids, though.
Yes. And I'm telling you, the scene with the hut, man, when he takes the hut out in the water, I thought was classic, dude.
Yeah, it's a good scene, man. That is a good scene.
That's your jump scenes, Tyler. That was it right there, everybody.
Yeah, there's my jump scare.
Right.
Honestly, I liked when they when it went into the dude's house and you just saw like how big this fucking thing was.
Yeah.
Or
I actually have that written down, Tyler. Like the scene where it goes in the house, like you can actually see how big it is. I literally have that written down. Like it's kind of cool because when it's backing up and it's pulling that thing into the water, you're like, fuck, is this ever a crazy effect that they did, man? Like it's a lot of effort put into this, man. It's crazy. Yeah, it's pretty wild, man. So you got to give it props, man. Just knowing what was going on in the industry in Italy, just to be doing these type of films is pretty special that we got these, man. Pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, Ty, what do you get this one, Ty?
I'll give this one a 6. I pretty much feel exactly like JP.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's Killer Crocodile 2 from 1990. And that's actually going to conclude episode 271 here on the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast, week 1 of Italian Horror Month, volume 10.
Yeah, 10.
Zoology volume 7. Fuck, there's so many things. I don't know, man.
Crocodilians volume 1.
Crocodilians volume 1. Yeah, I mean, we could do we mentioned we could probably do multiple of these, but these are fun, man. Croc films are fucking fun. Like there's lots of good ones, man. There's lots of good ones. What would Frankenfish fall under? Like if we were to put that into like a zoology show, what would that fall into?
Fish.
Cryptozoology.
Is it like crypto? Because it's like a hybrid type thing. Have you guys seen Frankenfish before?
Oh, yeah, I like it.
It is really fucking way better than it should be. Like it's legit actually good. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. I mean, most people like Dave Z would never check out Frankenfish because of the title.
Right, or the poster.
Yeah, or the poster.
What do I care about a Frankenfish?
Yeah, what do I care about a Frankenfish? The classic Dave Z, right? What do I care about this shit? Well, true. I mean, I really don't. I never thought about it beforehand. I'm like, what do I care about Frankenfish 2? And then I watched it and I was like, damn, man, this is a pretty good, like it was made for TV, right? And it's like practical effects and shit.
It was like a sci-fi film.
Yeah, and like practical effects. There was like, I don't remember even CG in it. It was really wild. Pretty crazy stuff. So, but anyways, I don't know how the fuck we got on Frankenfish, but so week 2, I think we have announced what we're doing week by week for this Italian Horror Month, but next week we are going to be bringing you the Dario Argento filmography ranking. Yes. How are we doing it? Roundtree? Are we just going round?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Dave Z's on that show?
Yep.
And it's just Dave.
And us.
Okay. No. He's actually doing the show solo. Could you imagine? 22 Shots just featuring Dave from Exploding Heads.
Do his own intro.
No, that would be the show that Brandon would come and guest spot on, the one that we're not on. Fucking amazing. Fuck, I miss Brandon.
And Greg, thanks for coming on. Where can people check you out at?
Yeah, thanks, dude. I always enjoy these guys, man. Y'all are awesome. But over at Land of the Creeps, you can check out Land of the Creeps. Unfortunately, right at the moment, the site that we use to host our site or our podcast has been cyber attacked. So so I've got like 5, I think we got 4 or 5 episodes ready to go and can't put them out there because I have nowhere to upload them. So once that gets fixed, man, they're in the process of fixing it. Once that's fixed, they'll be coming at the listeners hot and heavy. So yeah, we got like 4 or 5 episodes, but yeah, Land of the Creeps. We've been doing our Sergio Martino over there at Double with Black Glove with Ian Urza. So we're in like spotlight number 4. So that'll be coming out. We got a bunch of stuff coming out. Our episode 400 records. So we got that coming out. So all this, once we can get the fucking site to let us upload. So stay tuned. So just check us out over there. I think it's got it to where you can actually hear the previous 399 episode, or I think we got 395 out there right now. But anyways, you can head us over there, Facebook, Instagram, all them good spots, man. But appreciate the invite, man. I always love talking to you guys for sure. And Moodz, I always watch your videos, man. Your fucking videos are epic, bro. I sit back and think, God dang, how many moves you fucking got, dude? You fucking like,
did you watch any of the 31 days?
Yes, dude, I bow to you, bro. Like, damn, bro. I'm like,
I feel good, man. I love doing, like, I miss doing those type of reviews and shit. Like, I always have so much energy in them too. Like, you know, my intros and stuff, like horror and fucking. I love doing them, man. It's fun, and like, I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more, putting more into my random horror review series too. Just films that I, you know, just get content out there and stuff. But it kind of gets the bug back into me. I know JP was talking about that too. Yeah, you know, him doing 31 days and posting.
Yeah, I did 40 fucking videos in like 35 days.
And it kind of sparked his re-love for, you know, doing, you know, videos and shit like that. But it's kind of like me too. Like, you know, 31 days is a lot of work, but it's fun. It's fun, right? And I really enjoy doing it. So
hell yeah.
But
we'll keep it up, man. We love you guys, dude. And Dave Z, next episode, man. We love Dave Z, bro. He's so fucking cool.
That's my roommate. My roommate.
Yeah, Cinema Wasteland.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I had a message from somebody today, and they're like, "Yeah, found out about you guys from Dave Z. I've been listening to Exploding Heads for years, and he sent me a message actually just before the show started, and I was like, oh." I was like, really? Years? You've been listening to them for years, and you're just sending me a message now? No, just fucking. How the fuck do you not know about the 22 shots? I'm like, no, just. Come on now. No, I just said thanks, man. Thanks for the support.
They probably fucking clicked on way back in the day during the JF2 era and was like, what the fuck is this? I'm out of here.
Yeah.
JF2 era. Jesus.
JF2. I've never actually heard that term before. That's pretty good.
That's what he used to say all the time, dude, on the show. He'd be like, that was JF1 era. This is, you know.
Oh, right. I totally didn't even think about him saying, oh, right. Okay.
He's fucking stupid.
Oh my God, dude.
JF1, JF2, JF3.
Like anything fucking changed. Come on.
Yeah. Anyway, so next week will be Argento. Pretty cool.
And then after that is the Zombie franchise, which we are actually doing the Argento cut of Dawn of the Dead.
And
so that's 5-film franchise. Which, you know, we've actually reviewed Zombie 2 and 3 before on the show. So
Dawn of the Dead and Zombie.
Yeah. So the first, we've never done the Argento cut.
No, we mentioned it, but
we've mentioned it, and then but yeah, so there's 5 films there, and then we got part 4 and 5. I actually really love part 4. Part 4 is fun. But I've
never seen 5.
I'm actually literally wearing a Zombie 3 Fulci shirt right now. It's fucking trippy, really trippy. And then we're gonna cap this off with our top 10 favorite films from the first 10 years of Italian Horror Month. And what that entails is the movies that we've reviewed.
So those are Argento for me and Tyler.
Yeah, so they're not putting Argento, and oh my God, I'm not even gonna break my brain over this again because you guys are stupid. I just can't fathom.
People thought that shit was funny.
It's like I just trying to figure out your guys' mentality on it. I'm just like, I don't understand.
We just like Argento movies.
We're not getting into this yet.
I just don't understand how you guys put him on such a big pedestal that, like, if you have Argentos in this list, like nothing else is going to make your list. I can't wrap my fucking head around.
We fucking love Argento.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's on a pedestal. Like, that's why I can't wrap my head around it. I'm like, this is fucking, because I'm thinking the whole time while we're talking about this, I'm like, there's fucking Cemetery Man. There's fucking The Beyond. There's fucking City of the Living Dead. I mean, this is crazy shit to me, man. This is crazy
there's also
I'm sitting there
Deep
thinking,
Red and
there's Tenebrae, there's fucking Suspiria, there's fucking Inferno, fucking
yeah. I'm curious to see the list, like how the ranking of Argento actually work, like how it goes for certain people.
I'm pretty curious on this too, especially rewatching.
Because mine's changed.
The back half of my list could go like any way, because like a lot of these, like I don't like a lot of his movies past like the 80s, but I love like that first 20 years. So like I've obviously watched that a shit ton.
I want to ask you guys something. So when it comes to the Argento ranking, how are you perceiving the short TV films, like the hour films, like the Tram and the Master of the Horror episodes, like Jennifer and Peltz and shit like that? Like, are you just gonna just turn a blind eye and just treat them as a regular film, or are they going to be lower on the list because they're shorter films?
I'm treating them like a regular movie.
Okay, yeah, that's
It
what
all
I'm doing too.
depends. It all depends, like how I like just.
No, everything's a go for me. Like all 24 films that are being ranked are going to be treated like deep red. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of prep on it and stuff. I was like, wow, my list has changed. I mean, all lists change over the years and stuff like that. But like,
I gotta actually watch like a handful of them still. So including the TV shows that I've never seen.
This week, I think I'm gonna watch everything from Trauma up. So everything. I rewatched Opera because I just got the 4K.
Yeah, so did I.
I
wanted to check out the transfer.
Opera. I actually saw Opera at the drive-in a couple months ago. So
yeah, I mean, it just gave me a reason to watch the 4K, and it looked
I kind of got to watch also like everything from like Sten Hall up, I would say.
Yeah, so I want to do from Trauma probably up, rewatch that whole era of. I already know that like Giallo, like everybody knows how much I don't like Giallo.
I don't remember anything about Giallo, so it's like I remember not liking it like 12 years ago, but
I just shit on it the whole time we reviewed, man. I'm like, this movie, first of all, it's not even a fucking Giallo. It's stupid.
Well, I just actually rewatched what everybody considers his probably like couple worst movies. I rewatched Card Player, Giallo, Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera is a masterpiece compared to Giallo and The Card Player.
And I thought I watched another one.
I watched Dracula for the first time this week.
I really need to revisit Mother of Tears because I've only seen that when we reviewed it on the show, and that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I only seen.
My opinion on that movie's changed so drastically over the years. When I first watched it when it came out, I was like, "Wow, this is really bad," and I actually don't mind that movie at all.
I still have the DVD. I bought it.
I think I have it on Blu-ray.
I don't. I miss. Yeah, they did release that Extreme.
Oh, I didn't even know it had a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I never picked it. I missed that one, man. I think it's because it was in an era of me like not liking that movie. So I said, "Fuck the Blu-ray." I wasn't upgrading shit for the sake of upgrading. But now it's like so out of print and hard to find. Like you can't even. There's not even copies for sale anywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah. I remember I didn't like it, but that was like hadn't seen a lot of Argento. I only seen like I started with Suspiria, then I saw Deep Red, then I saw like Inferno and Tenebrae, and I was like, "Oh, this is a trilogy." And I think like that's when I saw Mother of Tears. Was like, this movie sucks.
Yeah, what's really hard to do is watch Suspiria, then you watch Inferno, and then you watch Mother of Tears, and you're just like, the quality dip is so jarring.
Yeah,
because it's like
he was supposed to make it around the time he made Tenebrae.
Yeah, like
which is such a shame.
I had only at most it was like my 6th or 7th movie, and all the movies I would have seen would have been like during his like run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I have to go, so I'll see you guys later.
Go finish your football games that you're watching.
I got a work call.
Oh fuck! Tell them to go fuck themselves, man, dude. Like you need your.
I like this person.
but dude, you always have so much. You're too nice, man. You're at home. All right, guys, that is going to conclude episode 271. Greg, thank you once again for coming on. We love you over here. Welcome back anytime. So yeah, I mean, probably next year, Italian Horror Month, if you want to come back.
Go ahead and mark it now.
Yeah. So, but anytime in between that too. So we got lots of shows.
Sweet.
But JP, we should do Wishmaster this season. They're asking for it, so we're gonna do Wishmaster sometime. So, anyways,
I did see someone asking for that.
Yeah. I think it's 4 films. I mean, they have all Blu-rays now, so whatever. All right, guys, we're out of here. Check you later. Peace. Deuces.
That's all, folks.